welcome in. It's good to see you all. Happy partner anniversary to us, I suppose. Today, we are going to do a bit of comic book club. I still don't know how I want this structured, which I think is what I'm struggling with. Maybe I don't want it structured at all. Maybe I want it entirely free form and we talk about whatever. I'm not sure. It feels like it needs structure, but at the same time, I think that it actually doesn't. And I'm trying to create structure in a place where we don't actually need it. Hold on, I need to turn on my other light. First, let's talk about what we picked up yesterday. And then, okay, so this is my stack of what I picked up yesterday. And then we have a stack of what I think are the things that I've read and whatnot since the last time. But again, there's no structure to this. We can talk about whatever. You can ask me for whatever. You can send me clips or whatever. It's really free form. It's a lot of me yapping, but feel free to ask questions or talk or whatever. We're doing a recap since the last time. I don't think we'll be covering anything except for like new books that have come out since the last time that we've talked, or like new books that we've read, or if there's like new announcements you want to talk about, we can do that as well. There are a couple of new announcements I'd be happy to talk about. And yeah, I'm just kind of going over stuff we read, some events. I want to talk about DCKO and all the things that are happening in DCKO. So I will not only be talking about the event overview, but I'll be talking about all of the specific books that have come out. And I'll give kind of like a little bit of a synopsis of each of them. So if you haven't read anything and when I get to it and you still want to read it, be sure to pop out and come back, or however you want to do that. And yeah, we'll kind of do it that way. When's the next Let Her Cook? When I feel like it. I don't know when. What kind of comic genres do you like? Mostly superhero? Mostly superhero, but I have been reading some indie comics that I really like. We're going to talk about one of them. No, we're going to talk about two of them today. We're going to talk about Mary and Heretic, and then we're also going to talk about Exquisite Corpses, which are two non-superhero, but like a superhero adjacent, I guess, comic books. But yeah, I wouldn't read anything that doesn't have like some sort of power or magic or something like that. I have read Saga. Yes. I liked Saga. People talk about Saga like it's the best thing they've ever read. And like, I liked it, but it wasn't the best thing that I've ever read. It was good though. It was good. I liked it. Which is just people talk about that shit like it's like the best thing ever. And like, some people do think it's that way, but not so much. Okay. So yesterday was New Comic Book Day. I picked up some stuff. I'm going to show you what I got. So first, and one of the most exciting pickups, one of the most anticipated, was DCKO Night Fight. So when we talk about DCKO, I'll talk more about this book. I'm not going to talk about what happens in this book because it literally came out yesterday and I don't want to, well, actually, let's chat. I need to understand the demographic of my audience. How many of you are currently, are reading current runs of comic books? Because if none of you are reading any of them and you just want to hear what I have to say about them, okay, that's enough. That's enough to not spoil for you guys. That is enough people in my chat who are currently reading comic books that I don't want to spoil for you. So therefore, I'm not going to talk about things that just came out or the contents of them necessarily. I'm not going to talk about the contents. I don't want to spoil anything, yada, yada, yada. When we talk about DCKO, we'll talk more about this book. But overall, but can you sell me on it? Yes, I can. Just give me the next 3 hours where I talk nonstop and I'll sell you on all sorts of comics.
Whoops, forgot to turn off auto renew for the 32nd month in a row. Not gonna happen again. No. Canceling right now. Yes.
Guy from Ghana, thank you for the 33 months. I'll see you back in another month. Because we all forget to cancel the auto renew, don't we? Thank you so much for the tier 1. Welcome back. I'm still confused on the logistics of DCKO. Don't worry, I will explain them to you. How about we do DCKO first? So I'm gonna show you my new pickups for this week, which was yesterday, and then we'll talk about DCKO first. I think that's a strong start. So DCKO Night Fight, I read this last night. Really good. This was a 5 out of 5 issue for me. I also picked up Planet She-Hulk. I wasn't a huge She-Hulk fan. I always thought she was kind of corny, but then I read Imperial, which we talked about like a couple comic book clubs ago. I want to talk more about it today because the event just finished, actually. Last week, they put out the last Imperial book. And so it's all wrapped up. And now these are this book is the aftermath of Imperial for She-Hulk. And there are some other series that are coming out post Imperial. I believe Nova is getting a book, and Black Panther is getting a Black Panther not interstellar. I forget the word of it, but it's like Black Panther in space, essentially. So he's getting his own Black Panther book, and I believe those either come out this month or next month or something like that. So there's multiple heroes in the aftermath of Intergalactic. Is that what it was? Yeah, Black Panther Intergalactic. So he's getting another book, and you guys can remind me if there's anybody else. Those are the 3 that were like on my radar. I don't think I'm gonna read the Black Panther one. I wasn't super into Black Panther's story throughout the Imperial event. So feeling a little whatever about it. But I'll probably read Nova. I was enjoying Nova. I really like the whole like world mind situation. That kind of stuff really interests me. And so I will probably read that. And then, like I said, I was really pleasantly surprised by all of She-Hulk's stuff inside the Imperial storyline. So I decided to pick up Planet She-Hulk, and I was pleasantly surprised again. So I don't want to talk about this one too much, because I don't want to spoil anything, but essentially during the Imperial event, Imperial was a intergalactic space war, essentially. And She-Hulk is left on the planet of Sakaar. So Sakaar, for those of you who don't read comics, but maybe have watched some movies, you get to see Sakaar in Thor, was it Ragnarok? No, Thor, wait. Is it Ragnarok? No. Which movie is the one Guardians of the Galaxy? Which one has Sakaar? Is it Ragnarok? Oh, it is Ragnarok. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. In Thor Ragnarok, you get to see the planet of Sakaar. It's a planet of just everybody fights all the time. They value who the strongest person is. So it's like, imagine a bar fight on an entire planet. That's just like how Sakaar works. And she, essentially, Hulk has a child. Hulk's child was the ruler of Sakaar, and everyone respected the Hulk because the Hulk is like the strongest, right? So Hulk's son rules the planet. But in Imperial, the storyline in general, kind of what happens is that a bunch of these Empire leaders get poisoned and killed. So Thor's son dies. There's kind of a power gap left on Sakaar, and Hulk has to take care of some other shit in space that's going on in Imperial. So he leaves She-Hulk on Sakaar to, rule the planet and make sure that things are taken care of and yada, yada, yada. So like one of their rules is to honor his son and also his 5 wives that he has. He has 5 wives on this planet. To honor these 5 wives, it's supposed to be 5 days of like no violence, essentially. And so She-Hulk, Jen, she's like trying to keep the peace. She's trying to make sure that people like aren't fucking fighting when they shouldn't be, and yada, yada, yada. She comes to really just dislike this place. She doesn't want to be here anymore. Hulk said he's like, I'm going to be back in 5 days. I'll be back in 5 days to take care of things on Sakaar. And in this book, we're on day 12, and she's really pissed about it. She like does not want to be here anymore. But it's just fun to see from her perspective what she thinks of the planet. And one thing I really like about She-Hulk is that she's like kind of quippy and funny, and that, just it's like a little bit less serious. But she's also like super badass. And in this one, we get sort of a power struggle twist. So what this book looks like is it's going to be some people trying to like undermine the throne from the Hulks, while Hulk is off planet and She-Hulk is there. And I don't really know where the fuck Hulk is right now or why he's not coming back. At the end of Imperial, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. But at the end of Imperial, he's kind of like, oh yeah, maybe, she's going to be stuck there a little bit longer. But I don't know what the fuck he's doing right now. So I think there is a Hulk book. I'm not going to read it. I'm really not that into Hulk. It's whatever. The other pickup for this week was Absolute Superman. I got this really insane cover. I love it. I was collecting trade paperbacks of Absolute Superman, or like I got the first trade paperback of Absolute Superman, and am collecting singles now. This is my favorite version of Superman. This issue, I agree, was also one of my favorites so far, and it was really sad. It made me really sad. This book made me really sad. Absolute Superman is my favorite Superman book I've ever read, and my favorite version of Superman, and seeing his like struggle within the book. Also, God, this is like, the art in this book is insane. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. The artist is Chris Samney, and gotta be one of my favorite artists now. I'm trying to find a good page. I mean, even the second page is a good page. I think he's just one of my favorite artists now. Like, I want to see what else he's done art for, because it's genuinely just like so... It's like the perfect comic book art to me. It's exactly what I want comic book art to look like. It's just really beautiful. And the coloring is really good, and I just love it. So in this issue, essentially what happens, and we're told this in the issue prior, so no spoilers here, but Ra's al Ghul attacks Smallville, essentially, and occupies it. And it's just kind of a really sad issue. I mean, this absolute Superman is going through it internally, okay? He is he is going through it. Just like finding his place in the world, and with his family, and his, parents gone, and the loss of Krypton and everything. And some really sad shit happens in this book. It's a sad one, but it's very good. Okay, the rest of these I have not read yet. I read those 3 last night. The rest of these I have not read yet. Someone needs to fix him. No, I know. I can fix him. Well, no, I can't, but Lois Lane probably can. Although I will say her design in this one I don't love as much. I don't love it as much, but that's okay. His Fortress of Solitude was also sad. Yeah, Absolute Superman is a really, really sad. It's just like a really sad story. How cool is it that your job involves talking about comics? It's pretty fucking sick. It's pretty fucking sick, man. I'd been wanting to make comic book content for a really, really long time, and I was always too scared to do it. So I'm really glad to be doing it now. And it makes me happy that enough people give a shit or find it fun and yada yada. Did you drop Absolute Green Lantern? Fuck, I know. Okay, so I read the first 5 issues of Absolute Green Lantern. And after 5 issues that I bought the single issues for, after 5 issues, I was like, okay, I'm really not into this story. It's really slow. It's a little convoluted. I am not enjoying this very much. I'm going to stop pulling this story. So I stopped pulling the story. Then I have DC Ultimate Ultra, so I can read... I think the typical time for comics to come out digitally on their respective apps are Marvel is like 6 fucking months. So you kind of like get really behind. And the thing about comics is you don't have to be caught up technically. You can read it whenever you want. Not a big deal. Ultra, I think you can get a week or like 2 weeks after the release, so it's a little bit easier. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna read the rest on the app. So I read issue 6 on the app, and I was like, all right, this is kind of good. This is kind of good. Not enough for me to go start pulling it again, but it's like kind of good. And then I read issue 7, and I was like, fuck. Dude, I feel like I should have just held out a little bit longer. Like, this is starting to get really good. So then I read issue 7, and I was like, okay, well, let me read issue 8 and then see if I want to start pulling it again. And then issue 8 came out, and everybody was like, this is the best, like, Absolute Green Lantern book they've done. Or people started saying, okay, like, yeah, Absolute Green Lantern is up there for me. So now I'm like, okay, fuck, well, maybe I do need to start pulling again, which is fine. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. I'll probably read 8 online and then start pulling it again. Yeah, I heard it's really fucking good, though. So we'll see. And Al Ewing, we trust. What else does he write? Al Ewing? Hulk, Thor, Hulk, Loki, Agent of Asgard. Oh, I read that one. Avengers, a lot of Avengers. You know, I don't read any Avengers. Oh, he did Avenger. Okay, that's funny. I don't read any Avengers. He did Avengers No Surrender. I read that. I see.
Comics, yay, hell I 5, yay.
Hi, Avery. Thank you for 8 months. Welcome back to tier 1. I appreciate it. He wrote X-Men Red during Krakoa. Oh, okay. I read X-Men Red. You know what I decided I want to do? I'm sad because during that era, I was like kind of in and out of comics. So I didn't get the whole thing. So I think I'm going to buy which omnibus just came out? I think I'm going to buy Age of Krakoa omnibus, and then House of X, Powers of X omnibus, and read both of them. The omnibus is so hot. So that's kind of the thing. It's like these fucking omnibuses, I'm like, where am I gonna put this? Where do you guys put this? I have those. Yeah, I think I will be getting those because I would like to read, because I kind of read in and out. Like I read X-Men Red and Blue and Gold, and then I read a couple of House of X. There will be 11 for Krakoa, 11 omnibuses, omnibuy, 11. Okay, for those of you who don't know what an omnibus is, let me show you. So you can just understand. I don't own an omnibus currently. Omnibussy. I don't currently own any omnibuy, but these things are fucking huge. I don't think anything, like, I don't know how to show you the sheer size of these, but they're like this big. They're like this thick. Pretty good choice for your first ones. Yeah, I mean, I love X-Men, and everyone says that was the best X-Men era, and I didn't read it all the way through, so I would like to do so. And people say, yeah, it's like one of the best X-Men era, and I love that omnibusi make them chronological, put them in chronological order. So that's my plan. But yeah, they're like this big. They're huge. I can't believe there's fucking 11 of them. That's actually insane. God, I always end up talking so much during this that I like look over at the sheer amount of comics we have to talk about today, and I've gone through 3. And we have about a stack this big. So next, I picked up Echo, Seeker of Truth. Very excited about this one, although I heard that a lot of people did not like it. It is so Echo is a character that I actually really don't know much about, but I know that she's Native American and she is deaf. And I was like, okay, cool, like Native American superhero, love it. Let me like pick this up. If I'm correct, it was written by the guy from the Black Eyed Peas. Or, yeah, by Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I heard that people didn't like this one very much because it was really dialogue heavy. But I'm gonna check it out and see what it's about. So I picked this one up. How many comics do you have? I think I have about 400. But my collection is, or 400, including a couple of trade paperbacks. But my collection is growing really quick, and don't know how anybody stores all of these. I genuinely don't get it. I'm like, I'm gonna need to get a fucking filing cabinet or something. I don't know what to do with all of this. Where do you get your comics from? I get them from my local comic book shop. But you can also order them online from a local comic book shop, or you can get them from like eBay or something like that. I mean, you could technically also get them from Amazon, but I think that it's always, if you can, better to support like a local bookstore. Long boxes in a dream. Yeah, I need a new box, but I just like wish that they weren't ugly. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I want to buy like the official decorated short boxes, but I don't like any of them. So then I was like, I wonder if I can Like, I bet I could probably decorate my own and it would be cool. There's also some, like, you can order some on Etsy to get them like custom. But the way that they do it is they like cut up comic books and then like paper mache glue them onto the short box. And I don't know, that makes me really sad. So I don't know. I want to figure out something now. Next is Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League #4. I got this really beautiful Cheshire cover. I will say that if you are not reading this, you should be. If you want a really fun read. Oh, I made a TikTok. I'm going to post it today. I made a TikTok that is 10 comic book runs that I think that you should be reading, like 10 current comic book runs that I think you should be reading right now. So that is going to go live on my TikTok. I know a lot of you guys have been asking questions like that, so I have an answer for you. And yeah, this one is really fun. It's a classic heist book. It literally is just like Cheetah and Cheshire put together a ragtag team of villains, but like not super villains, to go rob the Justice League. And the first 3 issues are them kind of just like putting the team together, getting the idea, yada, yada, yada. But we get well, I guess I could say this because this was a month ago. At the end of issue #3, Clarion the Witch Boy, who's like kind of a little piece of shit, but I literally love him so much. I'm realizing that I like piece of shit little characters. Like, everybody fucking hates Damian Wayne. I love him. I'm like, you're such a piece of shit. I love you. And that's kind of how I feel. That's kind of how I feel about Clarion the Witch Boy too. Like, he's a piece of shit. I love him. And yeah, anyways, at the end of issue #3, he is betraying the team. And have you read Clarion Seven Soldiers? No, because I can't get my fucking hands on it. Nobody has it. And then anytime I ask anybody, I'm like, hey, kind of a long shot, but would you happen to have Clarion Seven Soldiers? And everybody's like, no. Like, what a random, the Seven Soldiers book is the one where I get the most amount of like scoffs or like comments. Like, people are always like, no, I don't have that. Like, well, that's a crazy like, that's the craziest thing someone's asked me for. Or they'll be like, one guy was like, damn, if you can read that, you can read anything. I'm like, oh, okay, man. Thanks, I guess. Really hard to get my hands on. I was able to get my hands on Zatanna. So I've read Zatanna 1 through 4, but I can't get Clarion the Witch Boy. I also have, saw someone say omnibus time. I was able to get Seven Soldiers of Victory, I don't even know what this is. It's like not a trade paperback, but it's not an omnibus. It's like something in between. But I was only able to get volume 2. They didn't have volume 1. So I have this, and now I'm just waiting to get volume 1 of this to be able to read it in its totality. But for now, I just have Zatanna and this. Give me 1 second. Everything's gotta go in the right spot. That's an Omni car. I like that. That's an Omni car. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Sammy.
Daily Sid stream
Thanks,
check-in
guys.
Sydeon 7 happy partner anniversary rah.
Hi, Keats. Thank you for 61. Welcome back to the tier 1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I love Grant Morrison's writing. I think I'm coming to like really understand who my favorite writers are. I like Grant Morrison a lot. I like James Tynion. I like Greg Rucka. I like Holy throwback with this song. Yeah, I have no idea what's playing right now, guys. I have my day list on, and my day list today is Old School Hip Hop Baller Thursday Morning. Good morning. Kick Push by Lupe Fiasco. Dennis Camp. What is Dennis Camp writing? Oh, Martian Manhunter. Yeah, holy fuck. Absolutely. Absolute Martian Manhunter comes back, what, next month? This month? Is it next month? Let's see. Hold on. I'm so excited for that to come back. Two books that I'm really, really, really excited to come back are Absolute Martian Manhunter and Mr. Terrific Year 1. So Absolute Martian Manhunter comes back next month in December. And Mr. Terrific. Also, I'm just gonna get this set up for if we do, oop, wrong one. If we do go over. Mr. Terrific Year 1 comes back. Oh, not until February. Oh, no, next week. Next week, and then we have a jump until February. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Mr. Terrific Year 1. It's been a really fun read, really good read. How is Absolute Martian Manhunter versus the other Absolute titles? Admittedly, that's the only one I'm not reading. Oh shit, you should be reading that one. You should be reading Absolute Martian Manhunter. It's hard because the Absolute titles, like, I have a clear winner. I ranked the Absolute titles on my TikTok, but I can do it here as well. I have a clear winner for me. It's Absolute Wonder Woman. I am in love with the story. I'm in love with the art. I'm in love with the writing. I think it's the most fantastic book ever. It's in my top 5 of any comic book I've ever read. I really, really, really love Absolute Wonder Woman. So for me, that is like my clear number 1. The rest are kind of, or the next 3 are kind of interchangeable. So I would say it's Absolute Wonder Woman, and then Absolute Batman, Absolute Martian Manhunter, and Absolute Superman are all kind of like right next to each other. I would say that maybe my number 2 would be Absolute Martian Manhunter, specifically because it's just such a... It's beautifully written, and the art is just unlike anything. It's the same artist who did Zatanna Bring Down the House, and what's his name? What's the artist's name? Javier Rodriguez, right? Javier Rodriguez. The art is just insane. Like, incredibly unique paneling and art and coloring. And it feels like this book feels like I'm tripping out. Like I took LSD. Like it feels like all of Javier Rodriguez's art to me looks like he took LSD and then drew a comic book. And I personally love that. I think it's so fucking cool and fun to read. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I picked a book that has the Martian site, so maybe I'll pull out another one. But it's not only stunning, but it also, the writing also feels otherworldly. Like together, it's just a fantastic. And for me, I like things that are a little bit different, but like not too different. Like I'm kind of picky on my different. I'm gonna talk about a bad different later, but this was a good different for me. So I would say it's like maybe number 2. I talked about this before, but which one of these has the Martian site? Maybe the most recent issue has Martian site? Let me see. One thing that I really like about this book is they just have like cool elements to it. Let me see. I showed this the last time we did Comic Book Club. Like literally, look at this. So insane. So insane. So good. Hold on. I'm trying to find a very specific book. I think it's in number 1. There definitely is Martian site in number 1, but no way. I pulled. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I heard you. Yeah, I know there is a number 1, but there's another one, and I think it's like number 3 or something. But let me just pull out number 1. I'm being silly. Hold, please. Oh, it's 1 and 6. That's funny. I pulled everything but 1 and 6. So one thing that they do in Absolute Martian Manhunter that I really love is they have this stuff called Martian Site, and I compared this to Captain Underpants, which is a little silly, but you remember when Captain Underpants would tell you to grab the page and flip back and forth really fast, and if you do that, it will give you a different image. There's something kind of similar to that in Absolute Martian Manhunter. So down here, it's like, message to my fellow Martians, activate your Martian sight by holding this up to a light or the sun or something like that. So then what it tells you to do is you take the next page and you go like this and you hold it up to the light. And I don't know if it's gonna, maybe I'll have to go like this. Wait, hold on. You hold it up to the light and it gives you like a separate picture. So this one's kind of hard to tell, I think, because I have so many lights going on, but you can see it says we're the Martian mind hunter, mind fucker, find somethinger, I don't know. And it shows you an entirely different image. So you get the first image here, and then you flip the image on the other side, and this is what it looks like, but this is backwards, you know what I mean? So it's cool. It's just like, they're just pushing the boundaries of the comic book, which I really love and I think is special. And so anytime I see something like that in a comic book, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like a writer and an artist who just like really care and want to do something cool. Do you like comic books or like graphic novels more so? When you say graphic novel, do you mean like a collection? Or like a trade paperback, like volume of comic books? I like single issues a lot because I like collecting the art. Like, not only do I enjoy reading comics, but I also think of myself as a collector. Sometimes I'll just buy comics because I like the cover on the front. So I would say single issues, but if I'm just like really trying to read something, I will pick up a trade paperback for it. Like if I'm trying to catch, like right now I'm trying to catch up on, Poison Ivy and Batgirl. So I will read the trade paperbacks of those. I'm also trying to catch up on Something Is Killing the Children. Have you so Jody these books? I have not. Also, single issues give you constant, interesting cliffhangers. Yeah, for me, I think I enjoy watching things in succession, but reading, once a month, it has been working for me just fine. Could you specify why some comic arcs you like better than others? Yeah, I think I have a really specific style of comic books that I like. I want it to look like American comic books, if that makes sense. So I'm actually going to pull out one of my favorite comic book artists, Dan Mora here. Oh, no, wait. Where's Dan Mora? What did Dan Mora do? Here. I'm going to pull out Dan Mora, one of my favorite comic book artists right now. And I'll show you some of his art, and then I'll show you, see, I don't want to spoil this though. Do I have something else by Dan Mora around? I need to find a page that doesn't spoil something. I'm just going to show you the very first page. So this is from DCKO Night Fight, which just came out yesterday. And Dan Mora is one of my favorite comic book artists. As you can see here, to me, this just looks like really classic comic book. Like, I love the shading. I love the way he draws faces. I love the way he draws everything. Like, this just looks like a American superhero comic book. No, I know, Night Fight was so good. Like, this book is so fucking good. Then I'll show you one that I'll show you another. Yeah. So I have Jorge Jimenez right in front of me. So I'll show you his art as well. And again, I'm going to try not to spoil anything. I haven't read this issue, so I also don't really want to spoil it for myself. Here.
Sydeon loves Sydeon loves
really
Sydeon loves Sydeon
classic
lurk.
Comic book art again. It just kind of has that vibe. Like, when you think of an American comic book, like, this is what I think of. Now I will show you some art that is different that I did not like. Okay, actually, let me show you some art that is different that I do like. So, take Absolute Wonder Woman, for example. This, to me, is not like classic superhero comic book art, but I still fucking love it. This one is a bit more, or like the style of it is just a little different. The way that faces are drawn, the art itself is just, I don't know how to explain why it's different, but I'm sure you can see the vibe. This feels like more indie to me, I guess. Yeah, the paneling is different. Yeah, the art style, the shading, just, I'm not an artist, so it's really hard for me to speak on this in a way that I think sounds like I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. I just know that there are some things that feel right and some things that don't feel right. This one feels different and is still right to me. Now, I'm gonna put my hater pants on. I'm gonna be a fucking hater. This was a book that we're going to talk about a bit today. I talked about it a little bit the other day on stream already. Here's some art that I fucking hate. Minor Arcana by Jeff Lemire. I was very excited to read this because it has tarot cards on it, and I really fuck with that kind of stuff. I opened the first page and recoiled. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate the way he draws faces. I hate the sort of watercoloring situation. And like, I imagine there are probably plenty of people who really fuck with this and they enjoy this style of art and it doesn't bother them and yada, yada, yada. I just hate it. And I'm curious if Jeff Lemire's art always looks like this, or... And like, I can understand why this wouldn't bother some people, but just for me in general, like, I just don't like it. Personal preference, I just don't like it. Which was, it made me really sad because I actually liked the book. Like, the writing is good, and the writing is good, and the story is interesting, and the cliffhanger you get at the end of the first issue, I was like, oh, I want to read more. Too bad it's so fucking ugly to look at. So I was really sad because I know that this one is like really highly rated and a lot of people really love this. And I think that the story was good. I can't. I'm like, I can't look at this. It's like you know how people always complain about Big Mouth? They're like, Big Mouth is so fucking ugly. Like, I cannot watch this show. That's how I feel about this. And so I was really sad because I thought it was gonna be really good. So he wrote Swamp Thing Run. Luckily, it didn't draw. Yes, luckily, because I would like to read that. So, yeah, I couldn't get into this. This is one of the comics that we were actually going to talk about today because I was pretty sad about not being able to read that. Okay, where am I going to put? This is going to be my things that need to go back away. You like the very American vibe, not so much the European. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I would say that there haven't been a lot of books where I've opened it and hated the art. There haven't been a lot of those, to be honest. I think that was the first one where I was like, oh, I really fucking hate this. I love James Tynion. I literally love James Tynion. One of my favorite writers. I love his writing. I love Women 37. Hi, welcome in. Hello. Hi, Ricky. Welcome to the stream. Are you going to switch your comic wall to comics that are more festive for the holidays? Yes, but I actually don't have any holiday, like, I don't have any Christmas themed comic book walls. So I probably am comic book covers. So I probably am just going to switch it out. Maybe that's something we can do today is pick what we want to put on the wall. But yeah, I don't have any like holiday covers. Wow, we're still getting through our new picks. There's so much. Have you read Department of Truth? No, but I heard it's really good. Oh, also, who's reading what's it called? Something. It just came out yesterday. It's an indie comic book. A lot of people are talking about it. Oh, Assorted Crisis Events. Who's reading Assorted Crisis Events? It is not often that I see a book that has a 4.8 audience rating on League of Comic Geeks It's so good. What is it about? So Time is having a crisis. Mingling in the red light district, you can find actual cavemen, medieval knights, and cyborg soldiers on leave from World War IV. What's IV? Is that 4? Oh my god, I almost sound stupid. I think that's 4. Victorian debutantes amble their way into cell phone stores. So is this just like time displacement? Twilight Zone or Black Mirror? Do you guys think I would like this? Each issue, oh, so it's like an anthology. That's why it's called Assorted Crisis Events. Do you guys think I would like this? It's just so highly rated. I'm like, I feel like I need to read this. I don't think you'll like it. Is it because of the art? Is it because of the art? You could be honest with me. Do they have a preview on any of them? They're just so highly rated. Each one is like 4.8, 4.6. Like, that's insane. Yeah, I might just try one and see how I like it. Have you read the Ice Cream Man series? I have not. I'm thinking of trying it. Maybe I'll pick up an issue. There's a 1.5 trade already. See, that's a lot of commitment. I feel like I need to pick up like a single issue and see if I like it. Can you read it online? Probably. Batman #3. I picked up this cool Batmobile cover. This Batman run is really good. It's by Matt Fraction. I haven't read a lot of Batman, so I can't say how it compares to other Batman stories, but I am really enjoying this one. What I will say, this might be controversial. Don't shoot me for having an opinion. It's not really memorable to me. When I read the book, when I read this book #3, so when I read book #1 and #2, I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I went back to talk about it and like my comic book recap on TikTok, and I was like, I don't remember what happened in either of these issues. Like, it's issue 1 and 2. So it's just like starting out, we're like setting the scene, we're, you know, doing all of that. But I'm like, what is even going on? I'm like, what is going on? So I'm just a little like, I'm continuing to read it because as I read it, good, A+, really enjoying it. But it's not sticking with me. So that's not to say it's bad. It's just, it is what it, you know, it is what it is. Maybe #3 will really pick up and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm hooked. I'm not hooked. I'm like, it's just good. Okay, I've said multiple times I will not be reading any more Age of Revelation, and that is true. I'm gonna read this probably because I bought it, but I bought it for one thing and one thing only, and it's the most beautiful magic cover I've ever seen ever. And that's why I picked this up. This is Amazing X-Men #2.
Party hat, happy partner anniversary.
Thanks, Breda, for the 100 bits. I appreciate it, and thank you for the happy partner anniversary message. I appreciate that very much. So yeah, this art is just literally stunning. So I picked it up. We're gonna talk about Age of Revelation today, so we'll get there when we get there. Okay, but yeah, I picked up this cover. What I will say is I'm really sad that this didn't come, or that they don't have a virgin cover for this. So yeah, I'm stuck with this ugly fucking band across the side of it. It's pissing me off. But it's gorgeous. So that is all of the new pickups for this week. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I have to poop so bad. Can I leave something on for you and be right back? Virgin variant would go crazy. I know. Death Angel, thank you for 4 months. Welcome back to the tier 1. You could have lied there. I could have.
Happy
Someone said, did you see the trailer for the new Michael Jackson movie? No, nope,
happy
but you're about to watch it right
now.
Go
to the toilet. No
Hopefully
worries.
It's long. Okay, thanks for letting me go to the bathroom, guys. I really had to go. Man. Where even were we? Let's see. Okay, we finally finished our new pickups, and now we can into the meat and potatoes of comic book club. Any questions? What did you guys, actually, before we move on, what did you guys pick up this week? What did you guys pick up this week? So what's next for today? Well, we're not done with comic book club. We still have a lot to talk about. That was only the new stuff that I picked up. What did you guys pick up? I picked up a new cat. Okay. Sidestep really quickly. That's very exciting. What's the cat's name? I picked up a few wins in Deadlock. Wow, people play that game? That's crazy. Just Ultimate X-Men. Man, I wish I could read Ultimate X-Men, but I can't. I also just didn't get into the Ultimate Universe, to be honest. I've been locked on manga recently. Ooh, what are you reading? None, but I've been seeing all the book girlies reading One Piece on TikTok. What? Like Book Talk is reading One Piece? That's a strange crossover. I picked up a new horror novel. Ooh. What horror novel? Ichi the Witch. I've heard such good things about Ichi the Witch. Both Peter and Skara have shown me the black character from Ichi the Witch. She looks so insane. She's so cool. It's a Book Talk trend. Book Talk is comparing One Piece to the Odyssey. Wow, okay. They refuse to engage in the power level discourse. I mean, yeah, that shit is really fucking annoying, to be honest. I don't blame them. I too would stick away from that. Any plans to play Dispatch? No, not my type of game. Not my type of game. Okay, we talked about new pickups. Now we're going to talk about good morning, JK. How are you? Welcome in. Things that I read. Do you want to start with the good? Like, do you want to start with the stuff that is like gonna be really interesting, or do you want to get through the kind of stuff first and then end with the interesting stuff? Basically, like, I could start with Age of Revelation and DCKO, or we could end with Revelation. Start with the bad. Okay, let's go through the bad. And it's not even bad. It's not the bad. It's just like the less exciting to talk about. Okay, I picked this up because a lot of people were talking about it, and so I was like, okay, let's just see what it's about. It's called Marion Heretic #1 from Boom Studios. Okay. Basically, it is this nun. It's a nun, witch lady. And she nun witch lady, okay, right? And she's out slaying witches. She's killing witches with tools from the church. The church, okay, I don't know. I didn't like this book. I don't know if you can tell. I didn't like it. And I was surprised I didn't like it because everyone else loves it. I didn't like it. Basically, Marion, right? She has a sisterhood, okay? It's her and her sisters. There's like a couple of girls. And the church is basically like, you're a fucking heretic. And in order to atone for your sins, we will be giving you, and like save your sisters so we don't kill all of you and your sisters, you must now hunt down witches. So we are going to bestow upon you gifts from God. And with these tools, you are going to go kill witches. So she's murdering witches, essentially, in this really sultry nun costume. Like, look, I'm not even religious. I'm not religious. I'm not, I don't really care about, like, blaspheme or anything like that. It doesn't bother me, but I just think it's stupid. Why does the nun have her titties out? Like, it doesn't bother me from a religious perspective. It bothers me from like was it necessary to have her titties out? Like, I guess if it makes sense in the like, I know a lot of female armor is like Okay, yeah, like, does she really need to be wearing that? And sure, it's fine. But if you're going to make a book about a nun, she doesn't need her titties out. Like, I just think it's ridiculous. So already by page 2, when her titties are in my face, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, nun with giant knockers kills women. Okay. So I was already struggling there. And then it's all like, I don't know. And the thing is I actually think that there is probably going to be some commentary about the over-sexuality of Marian Heretic. Like, I think that eventually there is, or maybe there already is in the first book, but it wasn't like, to me, it felt like fan service. It didn't feel like, oh, we're making a commentary about this. Like, literally, look at this panel. This is her receiving the, what is it when you eat the bread of God in church? This is her receiving the bread, and she's got her tongue out and her titties out. Teenie Howard is pretty radical and rightfully feminist. Okay, so maybe I should have read it from that perspective, but I didn't. I read it from the perspective of like titty nun in comic books. What's the name of this comic? There's no way I showed this panel and you immediately said, what is the name? What's the name of this comic? Okay, for research purposes, I'm sure it's called Marian Heretic. Teenie might have missed in her attempt. I don't know. Because a lot of other people really love this one. Like, when I look it up on League of Comic Geeks, it has a 4.1, and I read some reviews. Like, even the first one says, a book challenging religious conventions, the nature of Catholic dogma, and questioning devotion in the face of oppression. Oh, okay. But it still doesn't come out and say why the nun is dressed like a skank. I agree. Like, the commentary about her, about the Catholic Church, or about her wasn't apparent. And like, I think I can pick up on subtleties in that sort of sense pretty well. And I can pick up on like feminist themes or things like that. Like, I think I can pick up that stuff without needing someone to spoon feed it for me. Like, I think that my what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, it's funny because I'm trying to, and I can't even articulate what I'm trying to say. But I think that my media literacy is good. Like, I could pick up this stuff, but I did not get that from this book. So I struggled a little bit. Anywho, so she gets these weapons from the church, and then she needs to go hunt down a bunch of witches. She gets to this witch, and then eventually she gets to this fucking absolute mommy. So we get to this mommy, and she's like the head witch of a coven. And essentially Marian starts fighting her, and she's like, well, you're a witch too. Like, you literally have a coven. We as like the council of witches have not decided whether or not we want to really give you the title of being a coven. But, you know, fuck the church and fuck those guys. Why don't you come over and hang out with like your real sisters? So then she basically is like, you know, continue to infiltrate the church and then turn your back on them and yada, 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 and you can come live with us. And that's kind of the first issue. And I'm not gonna lie, the mommy witch is like so hot. And she can be hot, okay? She can have her titties out and it makes sense. But like, why does the nun have her tits out? I don't know. So I just didn't like this. I don't think I'll be picking it up anymore. And, well, I have been meaning to support more female comic writers. Fair enough. She's like, this lady is a baddie. I totally get it. But overall, I just was not into this book. It made me sad because a lot of people said that they really loved it. Just couldn't get into it. So that's kind of the bad here. Let me double check what we have. Okay, so that's DCKO, that's Exquisite Corpses. This is Age of Revelation, and then we're gonna talk about Imperial, we're gonna talk about Absolute Wonder Woman. Maybe let's bring Absolute Wonder Woman, Strange Tales, because these are all events, or like larger things. Okay, talked about that. Green Lantern Dark. I finally got around to reading Green Lantern Dark. So DC has these things called DC Elseworlds, and it's essentially it's essentially like an alternate universe, and things are like just very different in them. So this is an Elseworld with a different Green Lantern that we do not know. And I think I talked about this one last time a little bit, how I really like the art style. It's a little bit different. It feels like we're in the, kind of this gas lamp district, essentially. I end up reading this. I read the first issue, and it wasn't the best thing that I ever read, but it wasn't the worst thing either. I just liked it, pretty middle of the road. Essentially, the story is that the world is plummeted into darkness and evil has won. Evil is led by Solomon Grundy, and essentially as he walks through the earth, he raises everything from the dead. So the sun is completely blacked out. All of the heroes that we know and love, and if you look at these people, you recognize that these are not the heroes that you know and love. In fact, these are just like kind of they're Elseworld replicas of the heroes that you might know and love, but apparently they're all dead. Everybody's dead. There's no one left to protect humanity, and Solomon Grundy is raising the dead into an army. And these essentially these zombie-like situations. What is this? What is this? I'm going to read this just for the fun of it. If one day you was walking on the street, then suddenly double XL pit bull dog have attacked you and was bite you and was about to maul you. Then I jumped and fought the pit bull, put my life in danger trying to control his jaws, and eventually I did and saved you. After that, I realized that you're actually pretty hot and asked for a reward, a French kiss, as compensation to the suffer I had. Would you agree, or would you be ungrateful? Wow, that's a read. That's a read. Yeah, brother, what? I swear to God, someone questioned this years ago. Is this a copy pasta? Is this a copy pasta? He couldn't tell that he couldn't tell that I was pretty hot until after the pit bull bit me. I also like the verbiage of would you be ungrateful? Like not Frenching you after that means I'm ungrateful. Also, do people still call it a French kiss? Is that a thing? I feel like it was very like, I need to know, is this copy pasta or is this real? Yeah. Also, who the fuck is Ashley? Yeah, that's right. I skipped over this. You said Sid, Ashley. Who the fuck is Ashley? Do you want to French me or you want to French Ashley? I'm the ungrateful one. Isn't your personal name Ashley? You don't even know me. You don't even know me. I'm sorry I can't French you. Yeah, this man is saving other women from pit bulls too? What the hell? Anyways. Okay, we get these like zombie-like creatures. I regret even helping. Oh, the misogyny, it oozes from you, darling. It oozes. This is Solomon Grundy, who is raising the army of the dead. Okay, boom. Basically, there's this story of the Green Lantern. And the Green Lantern shines bright in the darkness, essentially. Okay, she's the flame of, like, the resistance or humanity or yada yada yada, but it's really just this young girl. And there is another young girl who this young girl, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember any of their names because their names are they're like a little strange. They're like it's not like Jessica and Ashley and things like that. They have some odd names. What are their names? It's like this guy's name's Boric, and then there's some other Anyways, doesn't really matter. I just don't remember their names. My apologies. There's this girl, and she tells stories at like the town hall essentially, and she talks about the Green Lantern, like the Green Lantern saves us, and yada 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 yada, and all those things. And she's kind of like spreading the word of this figure that they don't see, but that they still believe in. Well, she still believes in, although a lot of people may think of it as kind of just like mythology at this point, because our whole world is like plunged into darkness. So she tells the story, and then she finally meets the Green Lantern, and the Green Lantern is just like some punk kid, essentially. And she's like, I didn't want this. This is not like this power that's been bestowed upon me. I didn't want it. I don't want to save you. I don't want to help you. Like, all is lost. All of your heroes are dead. I was just a child when I received like the power ring. I'm not a god. Don't worship me. Yada, yada, yada. Wait, how's this guy not banned yet? It was funny when I made a bit out of him, but now he needs to shut the fuck up. Anywho. So, yeah, a lot happens. People die. Yada, yada. She's reluctant to help, and then at the end of it, she decides to do so, and they kind of come to this like, we're gonna hold back the night together. We are gonna like light up the planet, and save the people and stop Solomon Grundy. So that was issue number 1. I fucking love when books do this. I fucking love this. So I love this shit. I want posters of this where they show you the world. You know what I mean? Where they show you the world, and then they show you like the territories. Like they do that, and they're doing that in the Age of Revelation too. And it's like I really just like fucking love this, and I would love it as posters, like the Lord of the Rings ones, or this or whatever. I love them. I love them so much. Anywho, that's Green Lantern Dark issue number 1. I have issue number 2 as well, and honestly, it was a good read. I'm not hooked. Like, I'm not like, this is the best thing ever. I'm so interested in this story, but it's a good read. And when I am looking to read something and I'm done with everything else, I will continue reading it, because I do have issue number 2 over here, but I'm not like obsessed. I forget. Did we talk about Strange Tales last time? I don't even know if you guys were here for the last comic book club, but does anybody remember if we talked about Strange Tales? Do you have other Elseworld recommendations? They sound interesting. This was my first. Or I think it was my first, but maybe not. What else is there? Oh, what's the night one, guys? Night. Here's a bunch of Elseworlds. I'm trying to see if there's any ones that I've read. What's the Dark Knights of Steel. Dark Knights of Steel. So I have not read Dark Knights of Steel, but I want to, especially because they are coming out with. So Dark Knights of Steel is an Elseworld comic. It's a medieval world, and it has all your favorite heroes, but like back in the day. Really excited to check this one out. I haven't read it, but I'm looking forward to it. It's from 2023. But they are coming out with a new. They're coming out with a new. Dark Knights of Steel. Wait. I thought that they were. There's rumors? I think there's rumors that they're coming out with another Dark Knights of Steel. So I've heard good things about this one. I'm excited to read it. But I haven't read it, but I would maybe recommend that one, even though I haven't tried it. But yeah, here are some Elseworlds. I don't think these are all the Elseworlds, because I don't even see like Green Lantern, but yeah. What's the idea for these? The Dark Knights of Steel is like medieval Justice League, I think, essentially. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read it looks like that. I don't know. Wonder Woman kisses a woman in it, though, so I'm really excited to read it. Okay. I'm gonna assume that we have not. Oh, I also saw someone say, "Are you gonna read DC Vertigo?" Yes, I will be reading some DC Vertigo titles, and I'm very excited. Hi, Thavish, welcome back. Vertigo is like their adult horror line, essentially. Would you buy any comics from secondhand sites like eBay? Yes, I do, if I am looking for older stuff. There are a couple of comic book stores on eBay that I will buy from, like Mutant City Comics. What's another one? That's the one I remember the most. But there's like a couple of like local comic book shops that sell on eBay. Do you enjoy mangas too, streamer? I do not, just because it's in black and white, I can't really get into them. But I maybe want to give it a try again. And then everybody goes, oh, well, what about manhwa? And then I'm like, yeah, no, it's still not really. I like American comic books, I just do. And I like watching anime. I need a comic of Batman and Superman dating. I've been matching them for so long. Ah, you're a part of that fandom. You're a part of that fandom. Super Bat. Is that what, that's what they call themselves, right? Super Bat shippers. Strange Tales. This one is really fun. I feel like I don't need to talk about it too much. It's essentially it is essentially a D&D campaign gone wrong. So Nico Minoru and her girlfriend Carolina Dean, who are from the Runaways, and then Wiccan and his, what's his boyfriend's name? What's husband, I guess? What's Wiccan's husband's name? They sit down to play a game of D&D. It goes wrong. It's basically like Jumanji, and they get sucked into the D&D game. And that's kind of what this story is about. Hi, Tobo. Thanks so much for the 5 gifted. I hope that you've been well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you got gifted a sub, I hope that you enjoy your emotes. I hope you enjoy your sub badge. And if you're here, please take a moment to say thank you to our kind sub gifter, Tobo. Hope you've been well, dude. It's been a while. There are colored manga though. Yeah, but not really the ones that like I want to read. Like I want to read like Chainsaw Man, JJK, Gachiakata, that kind of stuff. I think someone asked if I'd seen Gachiakata. Yeah, I am watching it. I really, really love it. It's so good. Hi, Sam. Thank you for the Prime. Welcome in. I do remember hearing about this from you. That's what I thought. I feel like I've talked about this one already. That's the plot for the book Die as well. Yes, which just got a new series like yesterday, right? I think I was thinking about picking it up, but I was like, I don't think I need to read Die and Strange Tales. I feel like I'll probably just read one. So yeah, essentially, Scarlet Witch has this door, and this door is a magical door. And if you are in like dire need of help, the door will appear to you and you can walk through it, and you'll end up at the Scarlet Witch's like, not house, but like what would you call it? Like her sanctum sanctorum type of situation, like her, emporium. I don't even know what to call it, but you walk through this door and you end up at her crib essentially, and she helps you out. So Nico Minoru is getting chased inside the D&D game by a big fucking dragon, and then she walks through her door. She walks through Scarlet Witch's door. So Scarlet Witch is like, yo, what's up? Like, let me help you. And then she she purposefully puts herself into the D&D game by, playing by the rules, very similar to Jumanji. We get inside and we recognize that there is this entity at play called Nightmare, who is kind of controlling this game and who has sucked all of the kids into the game. And so then him and Scarlet Witch start beefing, yada, yada, yada. And that's kind of it. And then they try and figure out, okay, like, how can we get out of this game and save, my son and your friends? And that was the first issue. It's a fun one. It's not like a really intense read that but it's just like a fun, I've just finished reading like Absolute Batman, and now I'm going to read this type of thing to end off my night on something short and sweet and easy. So Strange Tales is a really fun one. Chero Bear, thank you for 29 months. Welcome back with a tier 1. I really appreciate it. Fun fact, there's actually an old board game called Nightmare. Is it like a D&D type of situation? Hair's looking healthy today. Thank you. I washed it. I washed it just this morning. How could you tell? So yeah, Strange Tales is really fun. I am enjoying that one and looking forward to reading more of it. I'm pretty sure the next issue comes out next week. So then we'll talk about it next week. Mayhaps. Next. Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 13. Is anyone reading Absolute Wonder Woman right now? If you're not, you should be. I'm currently collecting variant covers of all of the Absolute Wonder Woman books. I mean, the A covers of Absolute Wonder Woman are fantastic, but I am also just really enjoying the variant covers as well. I think Viv asked any cosplays coming up. I will be cosplaying Absolute Wonder Woman very soon, probably this month or next month. Okay, we just finished an arc with Absolute Wonder Woman. Trying to remember which one it was. Oh, we just finished an arc with Absolute Wonder Woman where where did we leave off Absolute Wonder Woman before this one? She saves a bunch of people from a maze inside of a facility. Yeah. Basically, there's a facility that has a bunch of beings and creatures and people all just like trapped in it by the Absolute Wonder Woman villain. And in this maze, she finds her first encounter with another Amazonian. So this version of Diana was kind of banished essentially from Themyscira and the other Amazons. So she was plucked by I can't remember who picked her up. Was it Ares? Someone. Basically, Zeus was like, fuck you, bitch. And when she was a baby, she was taken from all of the Amazons and she was given... No, she wasn't plucked by Circe, right? Like, who delivered her to Circe? I can't remember. One of the gods delivered her to Circe, the witch, who's banished to hell. Diana also gets banished to hell. She's not allowed to speak or hear the word Themyscira or the Amazon. So she's not allowed to know of her true heritage. So she grows up with her mother Circe in hell, and it's a different story. And the reason why the story is different because this is absolute. So this is taking place in the absolute universe, which is not main continuity DC storylines, even though it's starting to tie into it. Anywho, the last arc that we left off with is she was saving people from this maze. And in this maze, she meets her first Amazon. So she meets her first sister, which is really exciting. She saves the Atlantean queen. She meets Ferdinand the Bull and a siren and yada, yada, yada. So that arc is over and we're starting a new arc. This arc is called The Price. Part 1 of 2, The Price. I believe we had an artist switch for this one as well. So the art is a little bit different. What did you guys, those of you who are reading it, what did you guys think of the art switch? This art is different, right? She's drawn. Right? When do you start One Piece? Never. I'm going to be honest, guys, never. It's a fill-in artist. Okay, yeah, I see. So, yeah, we get new art. We get a fill-in artist. This is Matthias Bergara. But to me, it feels very similar to the artist who has been doing the rest of it. So it actually really doesn't bother me that much. It's not that big of a jump. It's pretty similar art. That's a weird nose. Let's talk about that. Diana is Amazonian, right? And a lot of Amazonians are styled after, well, I mean, she's like Greek. She's essentially Greek. And while this nose is not your typical Eurocentric or, like button nose that you're used to, I think that this is very, very indicative of like the hook nose, the larger nose, the tall and wide bridge. And I personally don't think that saying that it's a weird nose is a kind thing to say, because this looks like her people and it's a beautiful nose, and it may not be the typical beauty standard of like what you see on Instagram and other places, but a lot of people's noses look like this, and I think it's really beautiful, and I'm glad that they made the choice to draw her nose like this. Nobody's nose is weird. Your nose is beautiful. So, new arc. This arc is an interesting one. I don't love it. I don't love it. I like it's good. It's still good, but it wasn't like the best. Or I'm a little less excited about this one than I haven't been in the past in the other ones. We get some really fucking cool panels of her though, so I will show you those. So basically, there is this being. She has like a radio that kind of like tells her, or is it a radio, or what gives her the... What happens here again? Okay, so destroyed an entire casino in Reno. It's still unclear whether it's some kind of natural or supernatural phenomenon or perhaps tech of some kind, but we're already, and she's essentially getting these distress calls. Yeah, Diana asked me to hook up the Heron up to breaking international news, so news reports, so they will autoplay when they occur. So she's getting like this radio that is telling her every time something is going on. She keeps going to the scene and finding this energy. And when she gets there, she's like, oh, the energy feels fucking bad. Like, I get here and unfortunately this filler felt like filler. Yes, I agree. I think that this felt like filler. She gets there and she's like, oh, this energy feels bad, and all of the people here feel bad. There's bad, evil, stagnant energy when she gets to this thing. She gets there and she can't really fight it because it's not a form. It's like this kind of, it's energy, it's electricity. So she's essentially, I love this panel so much. I think she looks like badass and deranged and just like so cool. She just looks like an insane warrior here. So she's essentially just like chasing this thing around the world. She keeps getting the distress signal, like telling her that this thing is appearing. She's chasing it. Yeah, she's basically just chasing it. It's like this figure that sort of looks like a human, but it's also kind of made out of electricity. So one thing about this version of Diana is that she does a lot of magic, like a ton of magic. And I'm talking like old school rituals, pray to the gods and goddesses, trade, like equal trade, like everything you do requires a price sort of magic. And that's how she lost her arm. And we talked about that last time, so I won't talk about it too much, but that's how she lost her arm. She traded her warrior's arm to get Steve out of hell. So when she finally like confronts up close and personal this entity, she realizes this destructive creature, it's here because of me. It's the price the world is paying for me. So she realizes she's fighting herself, essentially. She's fighting the price of her own magic. And that's what we get at the end of the issue. And then we get the like next, equal, and opposite. So, you know, it's a two-part arc, and we'll read the rest of it next time this comes out. But yeah, that's really all this issue was. It's had some really great panels, and that they were a lot of fun to see, but I wouldn't say it was like a groundbreaking issue, but pretty art and fun. And I imagine we'll get some like deep dive into that sort of conversation of her next month. So yeah, that was absolute Wonder Woman number 13. It was fine. Okay, let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about the bad. I'm so jealous that you can just go into comic book and buy comics. Where I live in my country, there aren't any comic shops, and you can barely find them in online shops. Yeah, I know. It's hard if you're not in America, low key. Like when you're in other countries, it's pretty difficult to come across American comic books. I am sorry for that. Hopefully you can find some really good online options for reading. I know it's not the same as like reading the book itself, but yeah, that do suck a little. Okay, we're gonna talk about the bad. And I'm really sad to have to talk about this. Age of Revelation. It's so bad, man. It's actually just like so bad. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit last time. But jeez. Okay, so X-Men goes all the way up until... Wait, are we going to talk about the bad, or are we going to talk Age of Revelation? Who's going to tell him it's the same thing? Wait, do you like the Age of... Are you reading Age of Revelation? Do you like it? We all knew it would be cheeks. I know we knew, but I really held out hope, and it... I like some of it. That's fair. Some of it is not enough for me to read, though. But that is fair. So basically, a couple months ago, we get this Age of Revelation 0 X-Men. It begins here. We time skip into an alternate future where Revelation, the son of Apocalypse, or the heir of Apocalypse, is taking over the world and is turning everybody into... he's releasing this mutant virus, and everybody's dying, and the world is being reformed, and he's like taking control of it as a dictatorship. We read 0. We talked about this last time, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I was really hopeful after this. Then I started reading the fucking event, and everything is ass. Almost everything is ass. Okay, almost everything is ass. So we get a bunch of different solo titles. It's a huge event. It's a huge event. Let me show you. Okay. It's a huge event, and it's not the first time that Marvel, or specifically the X-Men, have jumped into an alternate future where everything goes bad, specifically because of Apocalypse or other things. Like, this is the most played out trope ever, specifically for the X-Men, and I'm so sick of it. But I've been disappointed with a lot of Marvel lately. Yeah, so I filmed my 10 comic book series that I think that you should be reading right now, and I'm going to post it on TikTok today. 7 of them are DC, 1 of them is Marvel, and then 2 are indie. And I'm like, 1 Marvel to 7 DC? That's actually kind of insane. Marvel has not been doing it for me. I think because I'm not reading the Ultimate Universe, I specifically am like not getting into it. But I do think that if I think the Ultimate titles are probably the best of the Marvel Universe right now. So maybe you should read those if you're interested. I just personally couldn't get into them. Anyways, the Age of Revelation, it's huge. We get Amazing X-Men, which is like the main X-Men line. Then we get Binary, which is Captain Marvel Binary. Then we get Long Shots, which I have. Then we have the Sinister Six, which I have as well. Unbreakable X-Men, and then Cloak or Dagger, Omega Kids, Undeadpool, Expatriate, X-Men, Iron and Frost, Radioactive Spider-Man, X-Vengers, Last Wolverine, Laura Kinney, Sabretooth, Rogue Storm, and Book of Revelation. Okay. Long Shots is a spoof comic. I feel like you'd hate it. I did hate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's a spoof comic, and I thought that I maybe would like it, but no, I didn't. I hated it. I fucking hated it. I didn't even finish reading it. I literally read like 4 pages. It's basically Mojo, and I mean, I could be wrong because I don't even know, because I read it for a couple pages, but Mojo often has this like Mojo verse, and it's like a different like pocket universe type of thing. I literally got to this page and I saw these tiny little X-Men, and I was like, guys, this just isn't for me. I saw Baby Wolverine, and I was like, GG. I'm good. I don't need whatever this is. So I didn't read that. Binary, essentially, Carol Danvers has taken on the Phoenix Force in the wake of Jean Grey's death during the Age of Revelation. She now has the Phoenix, and she is protecting a town. So she has this town, and she's protecting them from the virus that is spreading. And these people are pissed at her. It's the classic, like, well, we don't really know what's out there because we haven't been out there. Maybe you're actually not protecting us. Maybe you're actually hurting us. And I often think in those positions, like, she wouldn't let people leave. She wouldn't let people leave the dome of protection she's essentially put on. Me, I'm like, take a hike, bitch. You don't like it here? Then walk the fuck out my bubble, get sick and die. I don't give a shit. Like, I actually don't give a shit. But she's a better person than me. Carol Danvers is a better person than me. Surprise. But yeah, I don't know. If I were ever in this position, I feel like this is a position that heroes find themselves in very often. I'd be like, okay, then help yourself, bitch. But she doesn't. She's like, no, you can't, don't go outside. Don't go outside. So people start getting pissed. They're like, well, I think she's fucking lying. And I don't even really remember. I don't even know who this lady is, but there's like some lady here that is probably doing bad things, but I don't know what. But yeah, essentially she just kind of struggles with that. It's a lot of like, I'm trying to protect these people, but these people don't trust me. It doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. It was fine. I would give it like a 3 out of 5, whatever. Decided not to pick it up anymore. So I have one that I can't, okay, this is Age of Revelation. The book leading up to it, really enjoyed. The first book of the overture was fine. It was more like world building. The Long Shots is a 1 for me, like a 1 out of 5 stars. Binary is a 3 out of 5 stars. World of Revelation is essentially an anthology pocket of different stories that are kind of setting up the world for you. So it's like, these aren't mainline stories, but here's some things that have gone on as the Age of Revelation has come to pass. And really none of these stuck with me. They're all incredibly sad though. Or actually, okay, 2 of these stuck with me. One in which Wiccan, who is like one of the most powerful magic users in the universe, ends up getting his voice taken from him. That's what it is, right? Or is it his hearing? Revelation takes, I'm pretty sure it's his voice. Yeah, he can't speak anymore. So he like can't do anything. He essentially goes crazy and, oh, his ability to understand language. Okay, that's what it is. He essentially goes crazy and is like a shell or husk of himself. Really sad. Really, that one was really sad. The Franklin Richards one was also incredibly sad. He gets affected by the X virus and turns into this like beastly glob thing. And his whole thing now that the X virus has taken over and Revelation and everything like that, he's essentially working as like a scribe. He's just trying to collect knowledge and stories, right? I think that's what happened here. He's trying to collect, is that what it was? And he gives them to Herbie, the robot, who like sits and waits for him, and he comes back like every month to give him the stories so that Herbie can act as like a safe house for these stories that our future people can go back and have access to. So yeah, he's collecting stories and he sees Herbie every month and he says, okay, see you next month. He drops off his records. He says, see you next month. And then it's so sad. Basically a gang comes across him and thinks he's like so ugly and grotesque that they beat him to death. They literally just beat him to death. They're like, look, it's a monster. And then they kill him. And so Herbie is left alone and no one is able to, or like people don't come back to him. But eventually it shows that Herbie meets people from like the future and is able to pass along the stories or something. Yeah, I said something like that. But anyways, it was really sad book. So this one was interesting. It just is world building though. So for me, it doesn't like speak to the entirety of the event, if that makes sense. Laura Kinney Sabretooth literally couldn't even get through. This was like some of the worst writing. It was just bad. So so this one for me of the event is like a 3. Like it was good, but it's not enough. This was a 1.5. I'd probably say it was better than Long Shots, but didn't hate it or didn't really like it. Now, one of the better books is actually the main run, which is great, right? Because it's like, it's the main run. So we would want it to be good. This is, and you know, Adam, I saw you say this. This is by Jed McKay, who is like the main run writer for X-Men, and I think he does a really good job, and I really like his stuff. So Amazing X-Men is probably one of the more interesting ones. I think we talked about this last time. Remind me, I think we talked about this last time actually already, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but I think it's like one of the better ones. This one was like a 3.5. Wait, did we talk about all of Age of Revelation last time? I think we did. Why are we talking about this again? Hi, Black Hokage. Good to see you. Have you read Captain America versus Aliens? No, that just came out yesterday, right? That just came out. I'm pretty sure that came out yesterday, but no, I didn't read it. I heard it's really good, but I don't like Captain America really. Like I'm like I'm not really gonna like talk. I'm not gonna pick up a Captain America book, I guess. Sinister Six was my favorite of all of the Age of Revelation stuff. Yeah. So this is my favorite of everything that I've read, but I think we talked about that last time. Rogue Storm sucked, but I got this really beautiful cover, so yada yada yada. And then same with Unbreakable X-Men, it also sucked, but I got a temper cover, so I was really excited. Laura Kinney Sabretooth, we saw the rating, but yeah, the rating was what, like a 2? It was like a 2.9 or something. I don't know. Really insane. So yeah, the Age of Revelation has been really disappointing to me. A bunch of books have been coming out every week. I have not been picking them up. I picked up, the only one that I did pick up was the Amazing X-Men #2, just because the cover was so beautiful. So that's that. Okay, I have 3 more things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Imperial, because Imperial just finished. I want to talk about Exquisite Corpses, because I don't think that we talked about Exquisite Corpses last time. And then I want to talk about DCKO and all of the new things that have been happening in DCKO. And I think that one's like the most exciting thing in my opinion. Hopefully you give it a shot. Eventually, the new Captain America Volume 12 has great commentary on society. I honestly can't really see myself picking up Captain America. Like, it's just like not a character, even if the story is good, it's not necessarily like a character that I care about or like. It's just like not my archetype, I guess. And I know that there have been so many like phenomenal Captain America stories, and like maybe if it were like given to me, I would read it, but I'm never gonna buy it, I guess. Or maybe I'd read it online. But that'd be like, oh, I have nothing left to read. I heard this was good. Maybe I'll check it out. Imperial just finished. I believe we talked about the first 3 books last time, so we'll really just talk about the last book. And I know that I saw a bunch of mixed reviews of this one, and I get it. I honestly get why it was so many mixed reviews. I found myself having a lot of issues with this book in particular that kind of spread across all of the main Imperial books, like the main 4. For me, I found the art of this, the art and the paneling and everything to just be really messy. Like, there is so much going on in this page. I feel like I can't read. I'm like, I can't look at this. There's too much happening. There's too much going on. There's a lot of visual clutter. So I would say that was like one of my issues for this book. Essentially, intergalactic space war between a bunch, the Shi'ar, the Skrull, the Kree, everybody, we're all beefing, the Wakandan. Like, literally, fucking look at this. It's too much. It's too much. What's going on here? Too much. So I really struggled with just getting through this book. And I spent a lot of time, like, just trying to block out the art and literally just read it, because I was like, I can't tell what's going on right now. I'm overwhelmed. Blah, 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 blah. It's really just a lot of blah, 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 blah. At the very end, the important notes, essentially, are that the Inhumans now have a throne, have an empire, and Black Bolt sits at the helm of the Inhuman Empire, and he kicks his brother out. He basically is like, yeah, bro, you gotta go. Thanks for getting me the throne, but we can't trust you, and you suck, so leave. And then his brother is like, I've never been more proud. Like, you're being a snake. I'm the king snake. So yeah, see you later. You're gonna need me. And then he leaves. And then, blah, blah, literally blah, blah. And I feel like the only other important note for this is that now Star-Lord sits at the helm of the new like intergalactic union. That's really all that happened. Like, that's the only like fucking notable things that happened in this issue. It kind of felt like we have this huge event, and then you get to issue 4 and it's like, okay, everything's back to the way it was, and there's a union now, and like it literally just, it was pointless. And in my opinion, it felt like this event was well written, I will say, well written, but just like, what was the point? But it feels like Hickman just brought Marvel Cosmic back to the pre-Hulkling. Yeah, like, I'm like, wait, haven't we been here before? We've been here before. So yeah, I felt kind of whatever. Okay, then it says coming soon. Imperial is over, but the story continues in Planet She-Hulk, which I just got yesterday and read yesterday. It was good. Nova Centurion, which I will be reading. I'm really excited about this one. It's written by Jed McKay, so very exciting. And then we have the Black Panther Intergalactic, which I said I probably like won't be reading. I didn't love Black Panther's like involvement in this story, so whatever. And then Wiccan Witch's Road, I'll be reading. I love Wiccan. I love magic, so yeah. And then in coming soon, Imperial Guardians and Exiles. I don't know that I'll be reading either of those. I might read the Exiles. I don't think I'm gonna read Imperial Guardians though, because I didn't even read that during this event. But yeah, the Imperial event wraps up and essentially everything's back to the way it was. The Inhumans are back. Star-Lord's on the throne. Nova is trying to like salvage the, you know, what's left of his people and using the world mind and all of that. Black Panther has the intergalactic Wakandan Empire. The Shi'ar have pulled out of the Union. The Korean Skrulls still hate each other. Yeah, I see a lot of people pogging over the Inhumans. We fuck with the Inhumans. I've always been kind of hi honey, indifferent. I can hear his stomach making the craziest noises. Hi, Baba. You alright, baby? I know, we're gonna get your medicine soon. Okay, last two. Any comments, questions, concerns? I know I feel like I've been yapping a lot. Any comments, questions, concerns, guys? Wow, happy partner anniversary. Yes, it is true. I didn't even know it until I got onto Twitch, to be honest. But yes, it is indeed my partner anniversary. How exciting. And we're spending the day talking about comic books. Okay, we talked Age of Revelation. We talked Imperial. What, next? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that we talked about Exquisite Corpses much last time. Did we talk about Exquisite Corpses much? I don't remember. Exquisite Corpses is such a fun read. It's written by one of my favorite, James Tynion. It is an indie comic from Image Comics. And it is definitely in my recommended right now. So if you are interested at all in picking up a comic book, I would highly recommend this one, and I'm about to tell you why. I found them to be kind of meh at first, but the Inhumans had a great run when Marvel tried to push them because they didn't have the X-Men movie rights. When Marvel, like in movies, they tried to push them in movies. Didn't they have a TV show? I thought the Inhumans have a TV show. Man, I hated that era of Inhuman stuff. I wasn't there for that. I was not reading that. I've never really been interested in the Inhumans. So I know very little. But I feel like I hear both. I hear people love it and I hear people hate it. So very interesting. Ever read Spawn comics? I actually haven't. I picked up, this one I was kind of sad about. I picked up Nyx, her newest run, because I was like, oh, Nyx seems really cool. And like the Spawn universe seems really cool. Like, let me just check it out. So I started reading that. I read book 1 with zero context. I had no fucking idea what was going on. Literally no idea what was going on. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that this book required me to have read literally everything else. I thought it was like I could just jump in here. The answer is no. Genuinely don't know what's going on. like so confused. And so I read the first one, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this away and maybe come back to it when I have the time and energy to read every fucking thing else in the Spawn universe. But yeah, it wasn't even like trying to be kind to you if you didn't know. It was like, no, you either know what the fuck is going on or you don't.
Nice.
Hi, Jordan Rick. Thank you for 69 months. I really appreciate it. Welcome back. How's your dog doing? He's doing well. He got his fecal test back and he has Giardia. So I filled a prescription, but I'm just waiting for them to tell me that it's been filled so I can go pick it up. He's a little sleepy and his tummy definitely hurts. Okay. Exquisite Corpses. So good. If you are looking for something to read, I highly recommend it. Exquisite Corpses is essentially the US of A is in 13, it's like the 13 colonies essentially. And so each of these colonies, right? It's 13, right? Is it 13? Wait, hold on. $12, $13, yeah. Okay, and they every 4 years, they re-elect their leader, and their leader is determined through a death game. So what happens is each colony will send forth a champion, and they will like rope off an entire unassuming town. So that's kind of the crazy thing about this book is that I feel like a lot of these death games happen in like an arena or like somewhere where like there aren't just a bunch of civilians fucking dying, but not Exquisite Corpses. Exquisite Corpses is like, hey, yeah, we're actually gonna do the entire fucking tournament in the middle of your random ass town and everybody's gonna fucking die. So they go through this power struggle and they rope off this town, and this town does not know that it's going to happen. The only person that knows of this town is the sheriff, and so the sheriff essentially hightails it out of there. This group of, trying to find like a good, so you can just like see what they kind of look like. It's this group of elites. They come together, and it's a wide range of people. It's some old men, some old women, some young men, some young women, and they come together, and they're the rulers of their colonies. They have a shit ton of money, and every 4 years they have to re-elect a new leader, essentially. They do that, like I said, through this death game. So everyone picks a card, and on this card they get their weapon that their champion is going to get to have. So like this guy, he picks the rope. This guy picks the hammer. And then there's like the gun, the gun. There's a bunch of different stuff. There's the gun, there's the sword, there's all sorts of stuff. Okay, you get the gist of that. And then they introduce the people who will be their champions, and so they get to pick their people. So we get the list of everybody. So we start with Recluse, who is like a spider web person, really cool, one of my favorites so far. Leopold Strong gets the hammer. Hi, Greshy, you okay, bub? You okay? And then we have the Hands, who is Rascal Randy. It's this creepy fuck ass like Chuck E. Cheese gone serial killer guy. I hate this bunny. I hate this bunny. Then we have the Knife, who is the Congregation. I also just really love how they introduce, this feels like a TV show, you know, like this feels like an anime. So it's like all of the art is like this, and then they have the introduction of the people, and I really, really love the way that they introduce the champions. Then we have Poison, who is Nurse Pete, and he's a fucking creep. And then Pretty Boy is the Axe. This is Pretty Boy. I need to read this immediately. No, it's like actually so good. And then Connecticut gets Electricity, and they have this guy named Gamer Kid Calvin. That dude's a freak. Yeah, they're almost all exclusively freaks. Delaware gets Fire, so we have Layla Blaze. And Slater, who is Explosives. Have we gone through everybody? No, we're still missing some key players. Then we have the Gunn, who is Lady Carolina, who is actually the sister of one of the families. So this is her sister, and her sister is one of the leaders of the colonies, and then her sister is going to actually fight in the death game, which is a really interesting development. And then we have the Fox Mask Killer, who gets the sword. And I would say the Fox Mask Killer kind of feels like the golden boy of the series so far. Sorry, I had to read that really quickly. So then there's the Fox Mask Killer, and I think that's the last one. So they essentially... Oh, no. And then there's the Lone Gunman. So he gets the gun. They essentially drop into this town, and it's on Halloween Day, and they gate off the edges of the town. So you like can't leave. There's like a border essentially, and you can't leave. And then everybody starts fucking dying. Like they're fighting. So the way that the game works is it's literally a death game. It's the last man standing. So of that group of people that I just introduced to you, they're trying to find the last man standing, and whatever colony or state they represent now becomes the leader of the colonies. But there's a lot of like shady shit that goes on. So the people who are in charge are also placing side bets. How many civilians is my person going to kill? How many kills is my person going to get of like the other champions? Like that kind of thing going on. And they have zero regard for the people of this town that are about to die. So it's Halloween. There's a bunch of kids out trick-or-treating and a bunch of murderers on the loose, essentially all fighting. Now, one of the main characters of this story is going to be this EMT driver. I really, really love her character. She's super cool. She gets this note from her uncle, who's actually the sheriff of the town. And it says, Laura, get in your ambulance and drive as far away from Oak Valley as you can and don't look back. For once in your life, I need you to put yourself first. Leave before sunset. I'm sorry. So the sheriff of this town knows what's going to happen, and he gets out. He leaves by himself, and he warns his niece, Laura, but she doesn't listen. So she's out on, patrol on the night, and yada, yada, yada. And she comes across, well, that's in the next issue. I see a lot of you guys saying you want to read this one, so I almost don't want to talk about it. I almost don't want to spoil anything for you and just leave it there, because like I really genuinely think that you should read this. Anime Spaghetti Sauce, welcome back. Thank you for the resub. And Nandor, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy your emotes and your sub edge. This is just issue 1, right? Yeah. So that's just like the story, setting it up. And at the end, I'm going to cover this so you don't see who died, but at the end of each issue, they have a bracket, and they kind of show you everybody.
Your comics are still crooked.
Goes on, which is really fun. So this is just it's just a fantastic book. I feel like some of us are already reading something similar at the moment, just in manga. How gruesome is it? I would say pretty. I'm trying to find like, can I even show that on Twitch? I don't know. It's pretty. It's pretty gruesome. How many issues is it? It is, let's see. That was issue number 1. This is issue, I think, all the way up to 6. And they're all, yeah, like relatively disturbing. I'm not gonna lie. Is there any way we can see your comics rec list? I don't have like a working list, but I do post about that kind of stuff on TikTok a lot. And I'm posting like a top 10 comic books that I think that you should be reading right now today on TikTok. So I will eventually, I think, link you to that. Yeah. Do you want me to spoil all of this, or like, part of me doesn't want to. Part of me doesn't want to. Essentially, each issue is a couple of different fights between the people, or it will cover like, it'll cover who wins and who goes on to the next round and things like that. I'll give you one more week, okay? This will be my introduction. You now have a week to read these so that we can talk about them, and we'll talk about them next week. Also, can you give me 1 second? I'll be right back. I'm so glad Crash likes this chair. I spent so much money on this chair and I wasn't sure if he was gonna like it or not. I'm so thankful that he did. Kermit, thanks for the 77 months. Welcome back. I really appreciate it. Almost 3 hours of comic talk. Nice. Yeah, I know. I end up just like yapping so much. And we'll probably play some games after, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna give you, like I said, until the next issue of Exquisite Corpses to read it before we talk about it. So we'll talk about that. Okay, this one I think is going to be the most exciting thing that we talk about in comics today. This is going to be DCKO. Okay, we're going to talk about DCKO and all related titles. And if you have not read a DCKO, 1, you should, and 2, this will contain spoilers because I am going to spoil. What is a good comic to start with that you can read online? Oh, my bracket was cooked from the first issue. Literally cooked from the first issue. It was crazy. That you can read online? Online for free or just online? Because you can read most, I would say any of the absolute titles from DC you should read right now, but it's not going to be free. Online for free, I don't know. Because I don't read comics online for free, but some people might. And maybe you could ask those, peoples. But me, I don't know. Have you read any Watchmen? I have read Watchmen. I read Watchmen, the Watchmen that came out in, I read, Doomsday Clock, I think is the name of it. Doomsday Clock? Yeah, I read Doomsday Clock. For free and legal reasons, webtoons. Yeah, like I know that there's sites where you can like illegally read comic books, but I don't know. But I know that people do know. How long does it take to get the comics on the DC app? Well, I think it's 3 months if you don't pay for Ultra, but if you pay for Ultra, I'm pretty sure you get them in 1 month. Which is pretty nice, not gonna lie. DCKO. Okay. Big event happening in DC. We talked about DCKO as a whole, I'm pretty sure, last time that we had Comic Book Club, I'm pretty sure. And essentially, this one is kind of like a long, convoluted story, but I'm pretty sure I covered it last time, so I'm not going to cover it all the way this time. Essentially, what happens is Darkseid is a god, and he is about to take over the universe, and he's really giga strong, and our heroes get told by some entities, I will say, some entities that essentially they cannot win. There is no winning this one. This one's fucked. Like, you're cooked, guys. There's nothing you can do. And they keep suggesting all of these things, and they're like, no, we've seen every version of the universe, we've watched this happen, there is nothing that you can do. So then there is one solution, essentially. Now there is a okay, so Darkseid has this planet called Apocalypse, okay, and in the center of this planet is the heart of Apocalypse, and the heart of Apocalypse, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, there is a heart of Apocalypse inside of Earth. And they didn't know that, but then they found out that the center of their Earth has a heart of Apocalypse.
Sydeon heart, Sydeon heart, Sydeon heart.
It's kind of this huge convoluted thing, but essentially what happens is that they're going to, in order to defeat Darkseid, the only thing that they can do is harbor this heart of Apocalypse, and it's kind of like this ancient Omega energy. And their only way to defeat Apocalypse is to gain control of the heart of Apocalypse, which is inside of Earth. And the heart of Apocalypse feeds off of Omega energy, which essentially means that they have to win it through conquest. The Heart of Apocalypse is looking for the strongest, most tenacious person to wield its power, essentially. And that's always been Darkseid. Now, their plan is to create a tournament of heroes so that they can all fight over this Heart of Apocalypse, prove to the Heart that they deserve it, control the Heart, and in turn have control of the universe. That's the DCKO for Dummies explanation. They need to fight in a tournament to determine who is strongest, to wield this Heart of Apocalypse, to be crowned the King Omega, to fight Darkseid. Okay? Is everybody following? Everybody following? Hello, Gray. Thank you so much for 4 months. Welcome back to tier 1. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Fire. Good to see you. Everyone okay? Hate to ask this, but is there a high quality picture of your blue spirit tattoo? It's the best one I've seen. Probably on my Instagram. I don't know where, but it is very likely in my story highlights. But I also got it done by this artist on Instagram. If you want to scroll back 3 years on their page, you can probably find it there as well. I'm confused on so many levels, but I love this for you, Queen. Okay, now I'm going to dumb it down even more to the simplest thing you must understand in order to understand Comic Book Club.
Wowie, my favorite comic book streamer.
All of the heroes must fight in a tournament to determine who is the strongest to go up against a supervillain god. So that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know to get through this. Hello, Toast. Thank you for 37 months. Welcome back to tier 1. I appreciate it. Also, yes, I would like to game today. Low-key depends on what, though. I'm sorry, I can't do Arc Raiders. I can't do it. But, like, if you want to play some ARAM, I'm down. Basically, yes. Mortal Kombat. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat. It's like little Mortal Kombat. Do you like DC or Marvel more? I used to like Marvel, but as I've aged, I think I like DC more. So is the heart a prize or something? Technically, yes. But, okay. They're fighting in a tournament to determine who is the strongest to go up against Darkseid. Once they beat Darkseid, presumably they'll be able to do that, they can reshape the universe into anything that they want. So all of their friends that have died in this competition, because people will die, like fucking Wonder Woman might die, you know, because they have to fight to the death. They have to prove to this entity that they are the strongest. They can then reshape the universe. They can bring people back. They can change time, change events, change anything. So this is their only way of beating the supervillain, essentially. So DCKO, the first issue is essentially setting that up, saying, okay, this is what we have to do, and here's how we have to do it. Everyone gets to choose one item to bring in. Superman brings in brass knuckles, essentially made of Superman brings in brass knuckles made of suns. So he literally I forget what they're called, the God Fist or something like that. He literally brings in brass knuckles made of suns. Batman brings in this big mech. Wonder Woman brings in her like god killing armor. It's pretty cool. Everyone enters this tournament. And now I thought that the tournament was going to be like, we were going to start and everybody was like going to get a 1v1 in the middle of like a battle arena. That's not what happens. There's essentially like this race in the beginning where you have to there's like a bunch of obstacles and like laser beams and these big giant things that are trying to keep you from essentially getting to the finish line. And so they have to get to this finish line to even qualify, I think, for what are going to be the 1v1s. But we haven't gotten to any 1v1s yet, so I don't know. And like I said, there are going to be spoilers for this, guys. I'm going to tell you who dies and whatnot right the fuck now. So if you don't want to hear that, this is your time to mute or leave or whatever. So we get this first issue. We get to see like the stuff that everybody's bringing in. It's pretty cool. We get to see what the arena looks like in the beginning. And everybody, yeah, it's basically like, the gauntlet is full of booby-trapped tiles. The Goliath's weapons fall like thunder, but if they're going to generate enough Omega energy, the energy that they need to harness the power of the Heart of Apocalypse, he needs to play to win, which means that you can't pull your punches. You're gonna have to kill your friends, essentially. They all do. So you can see everybody like rushing into the tournament, and essentially, yeah, fighting each other. And we get a bunch of people entering. Pretty cool. Yeah. You can see Jake Garrick's in here, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman, and they're fighting all of the stuff on the inside. And people start fucking dying immediately. One of my favorite things is, God, what's this guy's name again? I can't remember. Something Bug. The Bug. Look out, obscure character in massive line-wide event coming through. I'm at extremely high risk of death. Ambush Bug. This guy. This is Ambush Bug. Yeah, he dies instantly. Then Jay Garrick dies, so like the OG Flash dies. You see some of your favorite people make it, you see some people make it through the barrier, so essentially they make it through. But Superman looks back and sees that a lot of his friends are struggling, so even though he shouldn't stay back, he should just keep moving on, he stops to help people get through. In that moment, Batman's like, yo, focus the fuck up, Superman, go through the portal. And he gets shot through the chest and Batman fucking dies. Batman fucking dies before he even enters the tournament. And I was really excited because when me and Skara and Tosin, we had talked a little bit about this event because I think they've both been taking an interest in comics, not necessarily like in reading them, but they like talking with me about it, and they at least listen or pretend like they give a shit. So that's pretty nice. And Skara kept saying like, in order for this to be interesting, like they need to shake it up. It just can't be the big three at the end of this. We can't just have Superman fighting Wonder Woman and Batman at the very end because that would be really boring. Like, let me know if there's a big shakeup. And I'm like, oh, I will, girl. So then Batman fucking dies. And I read this and I message Skara immediately. And I'm like, dude, guess what? Batman died before he even entered the tournament. So, yeah, he was happy about that. I was happy about that. I think that it needed that. It needed to not be as straightforward as everybody thought it was going to be. 98% of brackets to trash instantly. Yes. So obviously I was not expecting Batman to die issue 1. So like I said, my bracket is already fucking cooked. So Batman dies, and you can, okay, here's another important thing. So basically, as they're gearing up for this tournament, there's a couple of important things going on. So they're gearing up for this tournament, and they say, okay, well, here are some things we need to do. We need to get everybody off-world. We need to get all of the humans off-world. They can't be here while we're fighting this tournament. We also need to make sure that we get the villains off-world because we're not going to leave anybody behind. We're not going to leave all of the people in Arkham Asylum to die. We're not going to leave people in the Phantom Zone to die. Like, we need to take care of them too. And the third thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that no villains enter the tournament. Because if a villain enters the tournament and they win the tournament and they win the Heart of Apocalypse and now have the power to reshape the universe, we're going to have like a Darkseid equivalent in just another villain. We can't have a villain shaping the universe. So we need to make sure that all of the villains are taken care of and they cannot enter the tournament. So Bruce dies and we get our big reveal that a bunch of fucking villains have entered the tournament. So despite their best efforts to keep these people out, we now see that the Joker has shot Batman through the chest with a flag that says bang. So Batman's dead. He gets the I don't feel so good Mr. Stark treatment and he evaporates. And we get the reveal that we have Lex Luthor and King Shark and Joker and Cheetah and Starro in the fucking tournament. So that's no good. It's no good at all. So it says, how did the villains escape? How did they get here? Clark has no time to figure it out. It only takes them moments to rush to the finish line. Giganta makes it through. Joker, then Lex. Essentially all of the villains that they've been trying to keep out of the tournament are in the tournament and they've made it through the finish line. It means that there is only one spot left. So now Superman, who's been staying back to make sure that his friends could make it through the finish line, now has to zip through and leave everybody behind. Then we get this fucking awesome panel. We get this fucking awesome panel, and it shows everybody in the tournament. Look at this really, really beautiful panel that shows everybody that made it through. So you get to take a look at each of those people. Very excited. There are 32 contestants in the tournament. And then you can kind of see all the people who died. So Blue Beetle doesn't make it through. Shazam doesn't make it through. Jay Garrick doesn't make it through. Ambush Bug doesn't make it through. And the narrator for this is pretty cool. It's the Heart of Apocalypse. So this is the heart, and it's the one that's narrating. So it's kind of speaking like, I already know what happened and is going to happen. I'm the one who crowned Darkseid so long ago. So it's pretty interesting. It says the surprise is coming like his 3 destroyers. Horsemen from a world where his rule is absolute. Monsters. And these are just some of the horrors that await. But if you want to know the real truth, the final one, I'll tell you, it's that none of them win. Not Clark, not Diana, not Mari or Eel. None. So, okay, he says he has his 3 destroyers. Darkseid has his 3 destroyers. And they're from his absolute universe, okay? And you can see it's the feetsies of absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Batman, and absolute Superman. Oh, Crashy, are you okay, buddy? Oh, he looks kind of sick. Hold on. Hi, are you okay? What's going on? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need to go potty? You okay, my dude? He's got that mom I fruit up look on his face. I know, I feel so bad for him. I just got the message that his prescription is ready for pickup. Okay, he did not want to go potty. Do you want to go lay in the sun? Is he okay? Yeah, he has a stomach bug. You want to go lay in the sun? What's going on, my love? What's going on? Okay? Your tummy hurts? Oh no. Hey, Bush. I can hear his tummy rumbling. Poor guy. He looks so sad. You guys can't see him, but he looks so sad. You okay, Papa? Do you want to come up? Oh, come on, Babush. Yeah, it'll come sit down. Okay. We'll finish talking about this, okay? So we get to see the Absolute Trilogy. So they're here, and they're going to be competing against all of the heroes and sent by Darkseid. Then at the very end, it says, because what they don't know is that there is one last champion among them. And then we get, like, we've had so many big reveals already in one book. Batman's fucking dead. A bunch of our friends are dead. The Heart of Apocalypse essentially tells us it doesn't matter what any of these people do. None of them are fucking winning. Also, you're getting the beast, the Absolute Beast trilogy. They're coming and they're fighting on for Darkseid. And not last but not fucking least, none of this matters because Darkseid himself is in the tournament. The king himself, that's right, Darkseid, haven't taken the form of one of their own. So no, friend, the game isn't beginning. It's already over. So we find out that Darkseid is inside of Booster Gold and has already entered the tournament. So it's basically just like fucking rigged. It's literally just fucking rigged. And then we get another bracket. You know me, I love my brackets. Who will win? And it shows you everybody that is in the tournament. Boom. Do you want me to name everybody? I mean, that's a lot of people. Superman, Giganta, Captain Atom, Power Girl, Guy Gardner, Firestorm, Jay Garrick, who's already dead. Cheetah, Aquaman, King Shark, Connor Hawk, Hawkman, Lex Luthor, Black Lightning, the Demon, Etrigan, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Starro, Lobo, Plastic Man, Swamp Thing, Vixen, Cyborg, Batman, dead, Batwoman, Star Sapphire, Red Hood, Damian Wayne, Zatanna, Barda, Harley Quinn, and Metamorpho. All duking it out. Very exciting. Plastic Man to win it all. A lot of people have said that. I'm really interested to see. I mean, I genuinely... Did you guys make a DC KO bracket? Who did you say? Red Hood and 7. Are you caught up with the Absolute Universe? Yes, everything but The Flash. And I need to read the newest issue of Absolute Green Lantern. Supergirl and Power Girl. Yes, Supergirl and Power Girl. Red Hood. Now tell me how Red Hood... tell me how Red Hood's beating any of these motherfuckers. Barda. Yeah, I saw a lot of people pick Big Barda. Isn't Plastic Man basically immortal? Yeah, but we have a couple of basically immortal people in the tournament. Okay, you gotta go. Red Hood wins through the power of trauma. Hell yeah. Absolute Green Arrow got darn dirty. Yeah, he fucking did. That was so funny. That was so funny. Everybody was like, oh my god, Absolute Green Arrow's coming. And then he just fucking dies immediately. That gave me a giggle. Okay. Then, in most main continuity... Hold on, Crash just went to the back. I just want to check on him and make sure he's either sunbathing or needs to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Gotta check on me guy, you know? Okay, sorry. I just making sure he's okay. He looks so sick and sad. I have to go now. Night Sid, have a great day. When is next stream? Saturday? Saturday. I'm gonna be gone. Well, I don't know. I might be here tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. I might be here tomorrow, but I'll definitely be back on Saturday. We have another Among Us lobby. Hi, Bubby. You okay? Oh, he's so sad. He's making me so sad. Okay, so that's DCKO. All right. Okay. There you go, Bubs. Hi, Lydia. Oh, that makes me so happy. What are you reading? I feel like so many of my friends have been like, wow, you got me into reading comic books. It makes me so happy. When I saw like Hannah post her story of like all the stuff that she picked up, and then Peter and now Lydia, it was like so exciting, man. What are you reading? Wow, how cool. Hi, Wolfenstein. Thank you so much for 4 months. Look back to the tier 1. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad that you love Comic Book Club. That makes me happy. Lydia, tell me what you're reading. Okay, so basically DCKO happens. This is the main book. I think we get 4 of these. I'm actually not quite sure. And then basically everything else in continuity is... or not everything, but a lot of things in main like line continuity are getting DCKO tie-ins. I'm picking all of them up, even if they're books I'm not reading. So like I'm not reading the Titans, and I'm not reading Flash, and I'm not reading Superman, but I'm picking them all up because I want to know what's going on. What do you have to know before getting into DCKO? It's unfortunate because I think if you want a full understanding of the event, you actually have to know a fucking lot. I'm not gonna lie, you have to know a lot. I think you can get away with knowing the dumbed down version that I gave, that essentially everybody is trying to, we're entering a tournament, and this tournament is to be crowned King Omega and to have control of the Heart of Apocalypse, which will allow our heroes to reshape the universe as they see fit, and also will give them the power to beat Darkseid, who's the bad guy. That is all you like really need to know, but there is so much that has led up to this event that if you wanted to know everything, you would have to read Absolute Power, Justice League Omega Act Special, Justice League Unlimited. You technically don't have to read the Absolute titles, but maybe Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. There is probably a guide. You could most definitely look up DCKO reading guide, and there will be somebody who has everything for you. Okay, here's what I'm thinking, chat. Crash is making me really sad. I think he's really sick. I was gonna game on stream today, but his prescription just got filled. So I'm gonna finish talking about DCKO and I'm gonna go pick up his prescription, and I'm just gonna game off stream, and I'll be back for stream hopefully tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, I'll be back on Saturday. But the dude looks miserable right now, and I want to be able to feed him his meds with lunch. So I'm gonna go straight to the vet after we finish talking about this. So then we have the DCKO tie-in, the Superman. Well, actually, this isn't what happened first. What happened first? I think it was DCKO Titans and then these three. Okay. So first was Titans. So remember earlier I said, who are you going to game with? Well, I think Toast said he wanted to game, and I think Sean said he wanted to game. And I don't know. I just want to play whatever. I'm happy to just game whatever. Is there an app I can read comics for free? Not that I know of. I pay for all my comics, so I cannot help you, but I'm sure that there is. DCKO tie-in for the Titans. Remember I told you that essentially everybody needs to get off Earth while they're having this tournament. They're trying to get everybody to safety. That's essentially what happens in this book. And now let me tell you, this book was entirely uninteresting. It's basically the Titans need to get everybody together to get off Earth. And what happens is they send in all of their heavy hitters into this tournament. Anyone that they think that they can win this tournament or doesn't need to be on the ground, because while people are in the tournament, obviously Earth is left really vulnerable. So not only do they send in most of their heavy hitters, they do need to keep some heavy hitters on the ground just to make sure that things go well. So there's a lot of like beasts in the tournament, but there's a couple beasts left on Earth to like make sure things are fine. But one group of people that they leave on the ground is the Titans. So the Titans, their job now is to evacuate Earth. Literally, they just need to get everybody off of Earth, except for Cyborg is in the tournament. Cyborg's the only one in the tournament. Everybody else stayed behind. So they're like, okay, team, let's do this, woohoo! And it's really just honestly a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of nothing. They talk about leaving Terra, but they're like, no, we have to bring Terra with us. Yada yada yada. It's literally them just getting ready to get off Earth and trying to corral people into specific stations to get them on a ship to get them off Earth. The only thing worth noting in this book, in my opinion, is the very, very last page. It's essentially Starfire, as she's trying to get people off world, she says, Donna, do you hear me? I need immediate backup. Granny Goodness has surrounded us. We're under attack. And that is, in my opinion, the only page of this book that actually matters. So they're trying to leave and they're trying to get humans off Earth. And these are this is Granny Goodness, and she is a god from Apocalypse, which is the world that Darkseid is from. So Darkseid, our big bad, has Granny Goodness, who has her Furies, who are people who just work under Darkseid. These are like Darkseid's henchmen, essentially. And they themselves are here, the Furies and Granny Goodness, and parademons, which are like the creatures from Apocalypse, the planet that Darkseid is from. And they're here to stop people from getting off Earth, essentially. Or I'm assuming, I don't know. Either way, they're here to fuck shit up. That's the only panel that matters in this entire goddamn comic, in my opinion. So that's kind of that's really all I have to say about Titans. It's not a phenomenal issue. It's not a bad issue. It just kind of like is. It is this. That's it. That's Titans. Moving on. Next we get Superman. In my opinion, this is one of the better tie-ins so far. And again, if you want, there's this website that I've been referencing throughout the stream. Is called League of Comic Geeks. And it's a really good way to log your comics, to see what's coming out, to say what you've read, rate it, all of those things. But one thing that you can do also is get like reading guides and things like that. So this will show you the event. So if you're interested in reading DCKO, it's gonna be 3 books. Interesting. You can get DCKO. See, I use this on my phone usually. So I might struggle to find this on the PC, but a lot of the time what they give you is reading guides. And so you can find, geez, where would this be? Community lists, maybe? Community, they linked it in chat. Oh, someone linked it in chat. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah. So like, here's the entire event, and it tells you exactly what you need to read and all of the tie-ins and everything that's coming out. So it's like, okay, you want to read DCKO, you would start with Justice League Unlimited, and then the Omega Axe special, and then DCKO, and then here's all of the tie-ins. So far, we're all the way up to Night Fight. Okay, we've got 8 issues that you need to read to get into this. Thank you for linking that, Nandor. That's actually super helpful. So one of the tie-ins, and one of the better tie-ins, in my opinion, is this Superman number 31 DCKO tie-in. And I'm trying to think, essentially, what happens in this one? Kal-El goes, and in his Fortress of Solitude, you know, he still has contact with like an AI that's essentially his parents. He talks to his parents, and he's like, I don't know what to do, guys. Like, do you know anything about Darkseid or Omega Energy or anything like that from Krypton? Do you guys have any information on that? And the AI essentially says, no, we have no records of this. We have no idea. Like, space travel was not allowed. We don't have outside information from other cultures or other worlds. So he's like, shit, okay, like, I really don't know what to do about this. He says goodbye to Lois and his family, and he's like, you guys need to get on these ships, and you need to get the fuck out. Please, like, take care of yourself. Don't die. And then these people are loaded onto these massive fucking ships. And so he used to have this corporation, which this is me contextually figuring this out because I didn't read prior Superman, but essentially he used to have like a super corp or something like that. And there was this lead lady, and I don't even remember her name, but this lady who like was doing the science at his Superman corporation, which later got sold to LexCorp. And they're building these big fucking ships to get people off planet. So that's what these are. They're these big fucking ships built by what was Superman tech, sold to Lex Luthor tech, and just the sheer amount of people that they're getting off the planet. Lois, being Lois, doesn't leave. Instead, she goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and she's like, I'm going to do some goddamn journalism. I'm going to find out what the fuck's going on. So she goes and she starts talking to AI Dad. And AI Dad's like, no, there is no knowledge. Essentially, like, they ask and they say, there is no knowledge of Omega Energy or Doomsday or anything like this. Then, Mom, another program at the Fortress of Solitude, overrides Dad and says, we sent Kal-El away. We hoped he would find someone like you. You, and then Lois says, like, I've never talked to you before. I've only ever talked, you know, to the dad. I don't know what to say. It's my first time meeting his mom, even though it's not really his mom. And she says, your questions triggered my program, my own memories tucked within the fortress. So she's like a separate program behind the dad, who is like the main AI. And she is a historian on Krypton. So she has an archive of all things that you need to know. She says, while there are no records of Darkseid, all the worlds Krypton encountered had a legend about a destroyer, the end of all things, a dark Omega presence that wanted to control all, the final god. Our scientists hope to create a champion to stop him, to change the future. But for there to be an Omega, there must
Sydeon
be an
crash
Alpha.
Out 3 minutes of ads.
I believe Doomsday was created to be that. His powers of recreation and rebirth are in direct opposition to everything the King Omega is. So then we find out this information, essentially, that Darkseid is the King Omega, and to his Omega, you must have an Alpha, much like me and Jody. Doomsday is the Alpha. Clark needs to know this, but he needs to talk to you. How am I going to tell him? And so that's Lois talking to her mom, and she's like, oh shit, I need to tell Superman this. And then Superman crashes through the Fortress of Solitude, and Lois goes, Clark, and he says, wrong Clark. So one thing I will say about this whole DCKO thing is there is a fuck ton of time travel, and it's honestly the hardest part about this whole event for me to keep up with is just the sheer amount of time travel and alternate versions of like each character and alternate timeline versions of each character. It's a lot. So he busts through this and he says, wrong, Clark. And then she goes, Prime. Superman said you were stuck in the future. So this is future Superman Prime? I don't fucking know. It's Superboy. It's like future Superboy. Anywho, he's beefing with somebody that's like, yo, Superman, or like Darkseid's coming and we already won. But then Lois sucks up the energy of whatever this fucking entity is and becomes Superwoman. You blasted her with your sun powers, you dork. Superwoman is back. Superboy Prime, the Prime universe was supposed to originally be our universe. Okay, so there's Superboy Prime. And Superboy Prime witnesses Lois Lane get blasted by sun powers, and now she's Superwoman. So our big takeaways from this episode, we've got Superboy Prime, we've got Superwoman, and we've also learned that they actually do know a little bit about this, and that Doomsday is supposed to be the alpha to Darkseid's Omega, I guess. Limbo, thank you for 3 months. Welcome back with the Prime. And Dalen, thank you for 19 months. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's going on with the ads, guys. If there's a lot of ads right now, I have not changed anything, so I genuinely, I don't know. Then we have another DCKO tie-in. This one's The Flash. If you thought the Superman one was convoluted, I don't even know where to begin with this one. There's a fuckload of Flashes. There's a ton of Flashes. There's Wally West, and I think the biggest ones to talk about really so I'm not a huge Flash person, and I'll be honest, I really don't know all of their names, but there's a Bart, right? Bart's the kid speedster. So all the speedsters are together and they're hearing, we get to see like different scopes of people like hearing essentially that they're gonna lose. So again, we're hearing from the Time Trapper, aka Doomsday, like, you guys are gonna fucking lose, you have to enter this tournament. So this is from the POV of the speedsters. The kid, Bart, is like, yo, fuck this, like, we're so fucking fast, we can just time travel and fix this shit. Like, let's just time travel, like, let's just go back in time. And they're like, no, you can't do that, that's not how it works. Something. Doomsday has the Time Trapper, who has control of past, present, future, can see all, can change all, that kind of thing. Time Trapper did something in the past that allowed the universe to slow down even more. So while normally like a minute might be a second to a speedster, it's now like a minute is like the time is even more dilated. So they're even faster than they have been before. So with that information, Bart is like, dude, I'm just gonna time travel. Fuck this shit. You guys aren't listening to me. So he leaves through the time stream and goes back in time to when Darkseid confronts the Justice League a way back. So we get back here and we see a frozen Darkseid, and Bart's like, okay, there he is. Wally says, Darkseid, we've traveled back in time. This is just before. And then Bart says, Time Trapper pulled it off. He slowed down time. It's like ripples in a pond or something. Slowest in the most recent past. This moment has all but completely stopped. To us, microseconds take more than an hour to pass. So time is really, really slow, and they're moving really, really fast. No one can see us. We're moving faster than the speed of light at this instant. We can trounce Darkseid, save everyone, everything, and it'll be like we were never even here. Dude, this is our shot. So Bart, being a kid, is like, yeah, no, we fucking get this. But if you remember from, I think it was the Omega Actor, or one of the earlier books, Darkseid essentially, like, there's this line, he just says Darkseid is. Like, he is everything. He is the universe. There is no escaping him. So then he goes, now where we've learned that they're moving faster than the speed of light right now. Okay, the speedsters are moving faster than the speed of light. He says, fool, Fool, I am everything. I am past, present, future. I am all. So now Darkseid has moved from his frozen stasis that they thought he was in. And they realized that Darkseid was waiting for them to come to this moment in time this whole time, because he knew that they were going to be there, and he was also there. And he says, even your speed force will also be mine. So Darkseid starts going to fucking work on them and is pounding their shit in, essentially, beating the fuck out of them. And we get from both their perspectives, both Wally and Bart, something weird happens. I'm back in the 31st century hooked up to my VR system. I'm back in 2nd grade and Travis Piper is kicking the living crap out of me. Something is wrong. So they both time traveled now. But this is new. I don't remember Travis throwing me through a playground structure. Sure, I hacked the difficulty levels of my combat sims, but I don't remember it hurting this much. So they've changed, they've time traveled, but where they are in time has changed. It's not the same anymore. Darkseid says, I can destroy you when and where I please at any moment. Don't you see? I am inevitable. Finally. So their speedster, speed force bullshit didn't work. Classic. And at the very end, they essentially just start running. And they run into the past. They run into 1908 and they get separated. Wally gets separated from Bart. So the kid is back in 1908 and he runs into another speedster. And he's like, oh shit, Max. It's like the other speedster. This is so exciting. Like, good to see you, man. I accidentally traveled too far back in time. So he gets pumped. He's like, okay, I'm saved. Like, my speedster buddy's over there. But then he realizes that his speedster buddy is actually on Darkseid's side. And I don't know if this is a changed thing or if he's been a sleeper agent the whole time. I'm actually not sure. I'm assuming that this has just changed, like, because Darkseid he's bad, but he wasn't like always bad type of situation. So we see that. So basically the big Flash takeaway is Darkseid is faster than the speed of light, faster than the speedsters, can do whatever the fuck he wants, essentially. And last but not least, wrapping up our DCKO, we have Justice League issue number 12 DCKO tie-in. I got this cover because it has Vixen on the front, and I was very excited to see that. Okay, so yeah, okay, this is yeah, Chris Samney. I just fucking love this art, man. This is Chris Samney might be my GOAT. I love his art. It's like so insanely good. This is what I want out of a comic artist. So in this Justice League issue, we essentially see heroes that are still behind, not in the tournament, going around and stopping like petty crime, essentially. Like they still have to like, they're basically like, dude, why are these villains still fucking robbing banks and stuff? Like, there's no point in robbing a bank when the universe is about to end. So they go and they find the polka dot man from the Suicide Squad. And he's like, no, back up. I'm not just robbing a bank. You don't understand. Then he explodes. Ouch. Blah, 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 blah. They end up in critical care. What happens? It's just them like handling stuff around the world, things that they need to do, yada, yada, yada. Then Mr. Terrific puts together a team. Oh, okay. I remember I don't really remember what happens in this book. Now I remember what happens in the book. Mr. Terrific basically is like, if these villains aren't afraid of sticking around while the world ends, they clearly have some other mode of escape lined up, say safe haven in hell. So he's assuming that like all of the villains of the earth who are still here think that they don't need to take a boom tube out or they don't need to take a ship out because they have made a deal like essentially with the devil, and so therefore they're gonna get out that way. He says, they're out there to distract us, which leaves us fewer heroes to guide the evacuations. Consequently, countless innocents won't make it off planet in time. So then Mr. Terrific puts together this team. And these are like displaced heroes throughout time. we've got Aquaman, Power Girl, Guy Gardner, Superman, a different version of Superman, Hawkman, Batman, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, and Owl Woman. And they're from different alternate versions, universes, timelines, yada, yada, yada. So he puts together this team, and essentially what he says is, you guys are not real. He kind of tells them, and it's kind of sad. They all take it pretty well, I'll say. He says, none of you are real. You're actually like echoes of like, I'm trying to find where he says it to them so that I can say it correctly. He puts together like his own like what's it called? Suicide Squad, essentially. I'm trying to find the part where he says, blah 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 blah. Okay, each of you represents a single standalone second haphazardly extracted without consequence from your lifetime. You're not who you think you are. You're a quantum ghost, existing apart from the hero you represent. And he essentially says, you're not real. He says, you're not real. So I need you to go on a suicide mission. And they basically all go, okay, yeah, bet. We'll go on your suicide mission. And their suicide mission is to go to hell. And that's it, literally. They go to hell. And so now I believe in the rest of Justice League Unlimited, we're going to be watching this ragtag suicide squad put together by Mr. Terrific to go to hell and stop the villains from escaping that way. So that's all of DCKO currently. Like I said, if you're interested in reading this event, it is, in my opinion, one of my favorite things that I'm reading right now, and like one of my favorite comic book events. I'm absolutely loving it. There's this reading guide that was linked by our friend Nandor. Thank you very much. And it shows you everything that you need to pick up for the event. And it's going to go all the way through January. So there's tie-ins and things like that all the way through January. There's 8 books currently. For me, like I said, I'm not reading Titans or Superman or Flash or, I'm reading Justice League or Aquaman, but you can read the tie-ins because they're kind of like single standalone stories within their larger books. So you can get away with never reading any of the other Titan stuff and just reading the tie-ins. And then there's the mainline books, which are the core issues, DCKO. But they also just came out with like Night Fight, and I'm not going to go through that book today. We'll go through that book next week because it just came out yesterday. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. But as you can see, I gave it 5 stars. DCKO Night Fight #1 that came out yesterday. It's fucking fantastic. Like so insanely cool. And yeah, we'll get to see some Aquaman, Justice League Reds getting a tie-in. We get to see like the fights. So it's like Wonder Woman versus Lobo, Superman versus Captain Atom, Harley Quinn versus Zatanna, those kind of things. I think my Comic Geek account is Sydeon's, but I don't really post anything. You can just see, but like if you want to see my pulled issues and things like that, you can see that from my account, or see what I have in my collection and things like that if you want to look through that. But I don't like make any posts or anything. But if you want, it's here. Okay, guys. So well, actually, no. Let me do this first. So for next week, Comic Book Club, we are going to talk about a couple of things. We'll talk about Night Fight and all of the things that we read or that we pulled. All of the things that we pulled this week. So if you want to participate and not get spoilers for next week, we are going to talk about Absolute Superman #13, Amazing X-Men #2. We're not going to talk about Batgirl, probably because I'm not caught up. We're going to talk about Batman number 3, Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League number 4, DCKO Night Fight number 1, Echo Seeker of Truth number 1, Planet She-Hulk number 1, and we probably won't talk about Poison Ivy because I'm not going to be caught up, that's for sure, on that one. So if you want to be caught up for next week's comic book club, these are the things you're going to need to read. I am going to head out. I was going to stay a little bit longer to play games, but my dog is sick and I need to go pick up his medication and make sure that he is taken care of because he is not looking so good right now. So I'm gonna go do that. Everyone, please wish wellness and health on Crash, and if you pray for him. He's not doing so good right now, and I need to go get his medication so we can get this parasite out of his tummy. My friends are competing in 2XKO right now, and I would love if you send them lots of love and support and everything like that. I'm gonna send you over to Peter, who's gonna be playing 2XKO. He's on Scara's team for the Box Jam Slam, which is happening right now. I might see you guys tomorrow. I might be back tomorrow morning to like game and stuff like that, since we didn't get to do that today, but I will for sure be back on Saturday. We have an Among Us lobby at noon, and I will see you guys then. Okay, bye. Thanks for hanging out.